two people left and the 1 minute is left. One person is present in the slide. There is project. Yeah, I think it's coming. Yeah, I know.
தொலைக்காட்சி நேயர்களுக்கு வணக்கம். நான் உங்கள் நிகழ்ச்சி தயாரிப்பாளர் ஷர்மிளா. கலைடாஸ்கோப்புக்குள் கண்ணாடி துண்டுகளை வைத்து குலுக்கி படம் பார்த்தவன் திரையரங்குகளுக்கு சென்று பெரிய திரைகளில் மட்டுமே படம் பார்த்து ரசித்தவன் இன்று கைபேசி வாயிலாகவே தனக்கான படங்களை தானே தயாரித்து வெளியிடும் அளவுக்கு விஞ்ஞானம் முன்னேறி இருக்கிறது. பலரும் இவ்வாறு முன்னேறியுள்ளார்கள். இவ்வாறாக யூடியூப் வாயிலாக பல்வேறு காணொளிகளை தயாரித்து பிரபலமானவர்களை அறிமுகப்படுத்தும் நிகழ்ச்சிதான் வைரல் வலைத்தளங்கள். இவ்வாறு பிரபலமானவர்களை நாம் சந்திக்க இருக்கிறோம். வாரந்தோறும் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை காண தவறாதீர்கள். தமிழ் அமெரிக்க தொலைக்காட்சியை சப்ஸ்கிரைப் செய்யுங்கள். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
ஹலோ தமிழ் அமெரிக்கா நேயர்களே, நான் உங்கள் மீனால் மணிகண்டன். தமிழ் அமெரிக்க தொலைக்காட்சி, அமெரிக்காவின் நம்பர் 1 தமிழ் தொலைக்காட்சியில் உங்களை ஒரு புதிய நிகழ்ச்சியுடன் சந்திக்க வந்திருக்கேன். ஆமாங்க, காஃபி வித் MM. காஃபி வித் MMனா என்னன்னு யோசிக்கிறீங்களா? காஃபி வித் MMனா காஃபி வித் மீனால் மணிகண்டன். ஆமாங்க, மீனால் மணிகண்டன் வேற யாருமே இல்ல, நானே. இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியில நம்ம பல்வேறு துறைகளில் இருந்து பல ஆளுமைகளை நேர்காணல் செய்ய இருக்கிறோம். அவர்களுடன் கலந்துரையாட இருக்கிறோம். அவர்களின் மறுபக்கத்தை பற்றி தெரிஞ்சுக்க இருக்கிறோம். ஆதலால் நான் வாரந்தோறும் வழங்க இருக்கும் இந்த காஃபி வித் MM என்ற நிகழ்ச்சியை தவறாமல் பாருங்கள். எனக்கு ஆதரவு கொடுங்கள். தமிழ் அமெரிக்க தொலைக்காட்சி, அமெரிக்காவின் நம்பர் 1 தமிழ் தொலைக்காட்சியை சப்ஸ்கிரைப் செய்யுங்கள், ஆதரியுங்கள். உங்கள் நண்பர்களிடமும் குடும்பத்தினரிடமும் பகிர்ந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். Stay tuned, stay safe.
தமிழ் அமெரிக்க தொலைக்காட்சி நேயர்களுக்கு வணக்கம். நான் தமிழ் அமெரிக்க தொலைக்காட்சியின் இது நம்ம பூமி என்னும் நிகழ்ச்சியின் தொகுப்பாளினி இந்துமதி ஜெயபால். இது நம்ம பூமி. ஆம், இது நம்ம பூமி என்னும் நிகழ்ச்சி எப்படிப்பட்ட நிகழ்ச்சி? இந்த பூமியை காப்பதற்காக தினமும் சத்தமின்றி யுத்தம் செய்து கொண்டிருக்கும் ஆளுமைகளை தான் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியில் நாம் சந்திக்க இருக்கிறோம். தமிழ் அமெரிக்க தொலைக்காட்சியின் இந்த புதுமையான நிகழ்ச்சி வாரந்தோறும் வெள்ளி இரவு 8 மணிக்கு காண தவறாதீர்கள். தமிழ் அமெரிக்க தொலைக்காட்சிக்கு சப்ஸ்கிரைப் செய்யுங்கள். தமிழ் அமெரிக்க தொலைக்காட்சியின் காணொளிகளை உங்கள் நண்பர்களுடன் பகிர்ந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை ஷேர் செய்யுங்கள். நன்றி.
Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change world. On behalf of the organizing committee and the entire fraternity, I am pleased and honored to welcome you all for this 1-week online international faculty development program and facet of teaching jointly organized by Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University and Lakshmi College of Education, Gandhigram. Today, we are in the final day of our FDP, and so we all our valedictory ceremony at 11 to 1. So, participants, please stay till at the end of our program. Now, I would like to welcome Ms. Devani, first BEd, Lakshmi College of Education, to deliver a welcome address.
Good morning, everyone gathered here. Today, we are presenting one-week online international faculty development program on facets of teaching on hands with Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University. It's my great pleasure to welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Registrar, Controller of the Examination, Dean and Academicians of Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University, respected Chairman, Secretary, Principal, and all the faculty members of Lakshmi College of Education. I welcome you all. It's our culture to welcome our resource person, Dr. P. Kamaraj, Head of Department, National Institute for Empowerment of Persons with Multiple Disabilities, Chennai, who is going to share his knowledge about challenges to education of children with special needs. We are eager to hear from you, and I welcome you, sir. Next, I would like to welcome Ms. Kalaivani, Assistant Professor, Lakshmi College of Education, who is going to introduce the resource person. I welcome you, ma'am. Next, I would like to welcome faculties of various states and across the country. I welcome you all. I extend my welcome to participants who are engaged in this session. Without you, nothing is possible. Finally, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Devani. Next, I would like to call upon Ms. Kalaivani, Assistant Professor, Lakshmi College of Education, to introduce our today's resource person. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, now, Lakshmi. Most respected dignitaries, professors, principals, teacher educators, and student educators from various colleges and universities, a happy morning to one and all present here. It's my pleasure to introduce our resource person, Dr. P. Kamaraj, Assistant Professor and HOD of Special Education at NIPMED. He has started his career at NIPMED from 2007 onwards. He has rendered more than 15 years of service at NIPMED Secunderabad. He has been an honorary technical director for Special Olympic Program Andhra Pradesh for 13 years. He has been a visiting expert to RCI and TNTU for Special Education Program. He has received so many awards. Some of the awards are Bharat Vidya Ratna Award by IBC New Delhi, Mother Teresa Award for Peace by IBC New Delhi, Best Researcher Award in Special Education by IMRF, Award for Excellence in Special Need Teaching by CGC Chandigarh, Honorary Doctoral Degree awarded by Theological Society Chennai. Apart from this, he has organized so many seminars and conferences. Some of them are technically involved to organize 3 Special Olympic National Games for children with intellectual disabilities. He has organized year-round sports program for children with intellectual disabilities in Andhra Pradesh, represented as a coach for Winter Special Olympics International Games held at Tornato in 1997. He has also organized several seminars, conferences, and other training programs for the stakeholders. He has established the Department of Special Education at NIPMED Chennai. He also established a model school and other services for children with multiple disabilities. He has been a technical contribution for development of a state research center for Tamil Nadu State Program of SSA, RMSA, and Sangar program. So here, managing a special normal child itself a very great task for all of us. But he is dealing with the child with the special needs and. Own behalf, I welcome you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Education is the key to success in life, and teachers make a lasting impact in the lives of their children. With this quote, I would like to call upon Dr. P. Kamaraj, sir, Head of the Department, National Institute for Empowerment of Persons with Multiple Disabilities, National Institute of Chennai, who is going to deliver a lecture on challenges to education of children with special needs. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Ananda. Respected Vice Chancellor, Registrar, Controller of Examination, Dean, HODs, and other faculties of Tamil Nadu Teacher Education Universities and Gandhigram Rural Institute, faculties and their administrators, and our own National Institute Director, administrators, faculties. So it is our pride to join and share our knowledge in the field of special education among the delegates on this occasion. So I thank all the stakeholders conducting this program for giving us the opportunity to share our knowledge. So today we are going to discuss the topic on challenges to education of children with disabilities, called Children with Special Education Need. If you look at the problem of children with disabilities, children with special education needs, they will have the participation restriction in the educational and other related activities because of certain limitations. Because of certain limitations, they shows restricted participation in the activities. Because of the limitations, they are unable to benefit from the school which is designed for general population or a particular population. The school which is designed for a particular population. Say for example, a school which is designed for general population, that is public school, all the children may not be able to benefit. The school which is designed for children with visual impairment, all the children with disabilities may not be benefiting. Or children with the school which is designed for children with hearing impairment, all the children with disabilities may not be able to benefit. So in other words, we can understand that the school or any public places that has the inability to accommodate certain children due to its limited resources available with them. So all of us should agree with this. So as an educator, we have to be very frank and we have to be very loyal to provide service to the entire spectrum of person with disabilities. So we have to accept this fact that we have very limited resources to accommodate the entire spectrum of the learner. The Individuals Disability Education Act idea, so that enumerated 13 categories, 13 types of children with disabilities that receives eligible for receiving the special education program. So apart from that, so they also prescribe some of the children who show certain issues in the learning process. They also receive special education program, though they are not identified or labeled as disabilities, but still they require the support of special education. Example, children with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder, though they are not coming under the category of disability, they prescribe these children require special education program. Similarly, the children shows weakness in academics, like slow learners, we used to call them as in the classroom. So though they are not enumerated in the categories identified as one of the disability in the program, but they have been provided the special education program as per the IDS recommendation. In India, we have identified around 21 categories. We have identified around 21 categories that requires rehabilitation services, including special education program, integrated education program, inclusive education program, wherever it is necessary or possible. So it extends to provide specialized services to children that requires high support need. Certain children requires extensive support. Hence, these children are considered as high support need children or group. So we have a provision to provide such children. But whereas in Western countries, they develop the support system parallelly. When they do the identification, they do the assessment, then when they do the evaluation, parallelly, they do identify the support needed for the children, how much support requires, and what sorts of support requires. They clearly write and they extend the support. Here, we are identifying certain children that requires high support need, so that needs a clarity whether we are addressing the children who are under the custody of somebody else, under the custody of no parents or caretaker, or it really requires extensive support in all the aspects. That we need a clarity. The program of person with a disability is evolved from denial. In the beginning, the rights were denied. The living rights, all the rights were denied, and they have moved on to providing some kind of charity program. Now it is move on to the right-based program. The basic training or the conventional training is move on to best practices now. The exclusive program, that is isolated program, is move on to inclusive program now. The negligence is move on to the enforcement with the laws. The medical model, earlier we were now fascinated to identify with the terms or bombarded with the terms, the medical models. Now, the total system is analyzed, total system is assessed and evaluated as a biopsychosocial model. The service provider choice is move on to consumer choice. Now the parents are very much eager to avail the services where the quality is shown, where the quality is available. Now the parents are very much aware of, and they are now looking forward the quality service. So earlier it was service provider model, now gradually move on to the consumer service model. So when we look at the population of persons with disabilities, so there is a WHO and the NSSO, no, our country identified the population as 2.68 crore from the population. But whereas the WHO identified around 15% of the populations are reported to have the person with the disabilities. But the school-going children are varying from country to country, varying from place to place. So our country, around 61% of disabled people are reported to have that they are attending the school program. But when it comes to the support or the service received by the person with the disabilities, so a lot of gap. Next slide, please. A lot of gap. Next slide, please. Yeah. A lot of gap. Next slide, please. Lot of gap is identified. So 3% of the population requires to be identified, that requires that caregiving support. So other people are taken care by the parents and the family members. So 3% of the people requires a caregiver. So that needs to be provided through the local level committee. So 23.6% receives the assistive technology or the assistive devices from the government, and the wide gap is there to provide assistive devices. And we have provided 28, near about 29% of population with certification, and a lot of gap need to be filled in terms of providing the certificate. So the education of person with a disability started from exclusion, that is isolated program, and gradually we have begun with special school program, that is a segregated program, and we have started introducing the integrated program, that's a separate classroom in the inclusive education program, and we are now move on to inclusive education program. At present, we are stuck up with the lockdown model at home with the gadgets of Android, laptop or TV and other programs. There are certain action policies that supports education of children with disabilities globally as well as in our country. So one of the most important federal law, that is Public Law 94/142, so that was the instrument for the entire nation, the entire globe to wake up and provide service for persons with disabilities. So this is because of former President John F. Kennedy, his effort. He brought this federal law to provide service to persons with disabilities. So that brought the movement of zero rejection and least restrictive environment. Continuation of that federal law, so another federal law, 101/476, that idea that brought the concept of inclusive education, early intervention and transition program. So it is the entire life cycle approach. Starts from inclusive education, school program, early intervention program, school program and vocational programs. The Salamanca statement, so that brought the human rights into the education system to realize the education as the basic rights. The Millennium Development Goal, so that also had the target of achieving universal primary education by 2015, but it could not be able to realize, and it is extended to the Viveka Millennium Framework, so that also brought certain actions like the inclusive education program, barrier-free, and the right-based society for persons with disabilities in the Asia and Asia Pacific region. So as a result, so it brought out the Asia and Asia Pacific decade of disabled person from 1993 to 2002 and extended to 2003 to 2012. The ancient strategies, the goal 5 is addressing the education of children with disabilities, and that also the goal 7 also include the disability inclusive disaster risk management programs. So follow to that, the ENCRPD, so that brought a force into the education of persons with disabilities, talk about access, inclusive program, without compromising the quality, and free, appropriate education up to secondary education program on equal basis. So the program has to be provided within the community they live. The inclusive education program should have reasonable accommodation. So reasonable accommodation, access, quality. So access, quality, reasonable accommodation, these are all important key terms addressed in ENCRPD. The Millennium Development Goal did not address the needs of persons with disabilities. Generally, it addressed education for all, but Sustainable Development Goal brought the importance of including persons with disabilities in all the area. As a result, Goal 4 is set to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. The Act and policies enacted to provide education for children with disabilities in India, there are several Act and policies which is enacted. So the basic and fundamental rights, so that enforces all the states to provide education as the fundamental or the basic rights. So the Kothari Commission written a line to provide education for physical disability. In National Policy on Education, NPE 1986 onwards, the education of persons with disabilities took a full shape. So 86, we have introduced the project, that's PIDE, Project on Integrated Education for Disabled. So that is practiced almost all, entire country, and continuation to that, the program of action put a thrust to introduce the inclusive education program with various projects like SSA, RMSA, and Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. So all these programs are offshoot of this program of actions. Then the Right to Education Act, so that also recommended free and compulsory education for persons with disabilities with an annexure in the year 2013. So new policy on education, so that also gives importance for person with disabilities, the education of person with disabilities, that who inclusive education program. The acts and policies enacted for persons with disabilities in India exclusively for addressing the needs of persons with disabilities. The Indian Lunacy Act, so that excluded persons with intellectual disability. The Mental Health Act, that also excluded the person with intellectual disability. The educational aspects. The Assay Act, that is mandatory for tracking the professional quality and supervising, monitoring the rehabilitation program and training programs. The Person with a Disability Act, Equal Opportunity, Protection of Right, Full Participation in the year 1995 enacted. So that also recommended the education for persons with disabilities, the holistic approach like early intervention, screening, identification, early intervention, education program, vocational education. So all this program, the total coverage is provided or recommended in the Person with a Disability Act. The National Trust Act taken care of certain disability which requires the family support, lifelong support for their survival. The Person with a Disability Act did not provide certain facilities, so the National Trust Act taken care of such facilities of care. The Policy on Person with Disability Act 2006 came up for full participation in all the activities, including the sports, cultural and educational and all the activities on par with others. The RPWD Act 2016, so that drafted based on UNCRPD, and it recommends the accessibility of all the service, including the educational services, and extend the full support for high support need people. So we have right now, there are 3 programs, that is new education policy, that is the vision is set up to 2040. The Sustainable Development Goal, vision set up to 2030. The RPWD Act enacted in the year 2016 and open for evolving. So all these 3 are very much important for providing education to persons with disabilities. NTE, that promises about holistic quality education program, considering universal design for learning, access to technology, and then setting up a special education zone. So these are all certain promises made in new education policy. So that is very much facilitating the person with the disabilities to include in the educational program. Similarly, so that RPWD Act, that also recommends reasonable accommodation, access UDL, and inclusion. The Sustainable Development Goal, so that also address the holistic program like achieving the poverty alleviation, achieving the health and nutrition of the children so that the education can be achieved. So these three programs has to go hand in hand to achieve the education of persons with disabilities. So when it comes to challenges, a lot of challenges are ahead in front of us. So let us discuss each and every issues and challenges in front of us. Challenges to education of children with special needs. So the programs are continuously evolving. So we have hardly any people to review all these, hardly any professionals to review all these issues and update the challenges. Similarly, the act and policies that also need to be updated. And prior to that, so we need to bring it to the or address to the public so that it gets updated in a systematic way. So there is a lacuna in understanding the policies and act among the public. So the awareness is very poor among the public, so that the contribution of the public, when there is updation, the contribution of the public is very minimal. Similarly, the direction to implement the programs are given to the concerned department, and there is no convergence. Hardly any convergence takes place among the department to work together. Working together is very much important. So there is a gap in working together. So people are working in isolation. All the departments are working in isolation, and there should be a convergence brought into. The challenge is to implement the policy like the awareness program of persons with disabilities. So when it comes to the awareness program, the TV channels or the public people, the public or the media that takes the prime time for other commercial ads, rather promoting the certain that public cause, certain programs like educational program or program of education of children with disabilities. So the prime time is not taken. The prime times are taken by the commercial people. Identification, certification of persons with disabilities. So that also we are facing a lot of challenges, because the guidelines set for that one way life. So there is no, they cannot go out and then break the limitations and then work. So if there is a limitations, that overcoming certain limitations, that takes a lot of time to break that limitations and arrive at a conclusion. So certification and identification is a lot of confusions in our country, but whereas in Western country they put a yardstick. So these are all the conditions. This is the support which is required for the children to avail or the children to take care of. The education of children with disabilities, the prescription of availing the education of children with disabilities in terms of placement, in terms of curriculum, in terms of teaching strategies, material, and other support required for children with special needs are very minimal. So we have very limited professionals for prescribing such or availing such programs in the education system. Human resource development. So when it comes to human resource development, the specialized services are focused right now. So there is no holistic approach. So it is very difficult to practice the inclusive education program. So the inclusive education program doesn't have the curriculum of taking care of or teaching strategies of persons with disabilities. Similarly, the R&D program, the sample size is very small. The general education program or the other people, they don't agree with the work which is done by the education of children with disabilities. So because of the sample size and homogeneity is very difficult, heterogeneity is available, and the willingness to participate in the program, a lot of gap identification. So these are various challenges to do the R&D program in the implementation of the policy. When it comes to education of children with special needs, as I told earlier, the prescription of teaching prescription. So that is very much essential before we place the people and start the program. So this is highly skillful. So that needs attention. And the admission, general education program. So they will be looking for the result, and they will be looking for the bright student for the name of their, to take care of the name of their school. But admission to other, that weaker section, admission to the disadvantaged group, like the children with disabilities, is a challenging one. So with a great difficulty, they have to get admissions. Individual differences, yes, it is a challenge among the classroom. So there is a difference. That's why they secure different score. Someone score failure, someone score 100%. So there is a individual differences. So among the person with the disabilities, a lot of categories. Children with autism spectrum disorder, so they have certain categories. They have certain symptoms. Children with intellectual disability, they have certain symptoms. Children with cerebral palsy, they show certain symptoms. Children with visual impairment, they show certain symptoms. Yes, a lot of individual differences we can observe. These are various challenges. Availability of curriculum for a person with disabilities, yes, absolutely it is. Absolutely it is not challenging. So we cannot say that it is readily available. The teacher's knowledge, skill, and the attitude towards person with disabilities, yes, it is also challenging. Some of the teachers, yes, they are dedicated and they are developing knowledge and adequate skill and developing positive attitude. Some of the teachers, they get tired. They don't want to make such an effort, and it is very much challenging for certain teachers. Learning environment, creating learning environment, it is also challenging because it requires the barrier-free. It requires barrier-free and requires the seating arrangement, appropriate, adequate seating arrangements. So other, that lighting, ventilation, the ambience, everything should be suitable for the people to learn in various situations, like be it classroom, or be it lab, or be it library, or be it in the ground, or that play area. There are certain challenges which is addressed for not attending the school by the children with disabilities. Yes, the facilities are not conducive, not accessible. Lack of transport. Even if you provide transport also, the able people are accessing the transport. So it is not friendly for persons with disabilities, especially persons with locomotor disability. The age, the secondary issues like that ADHD or epileptic conditions or any other health issues, and non-availability of programs, certain programs which is not available in the general education programs, like that therapeutic programs, speech therapy or physiotherapy or occupational therapy or any other that medical help, non-availability of the program, negative attitude by the teachers or by the other parents having non-disabled, negative attitude by the peer group, bullying and stigmatization of person with disabilities. So these are certain disadvantages, these are certain challenges where the children with disabilities encounter in the classrooms. So the challenge is to implement the best practices in the classroom, like not all the methods and strategies work for all the children. So it is specific to person, like they prescribe medicine to person with sick on certain issues, not the medicines are prescribed for all the people for all the medicines. So the methods and strategies which is applicable to only a particular person under particular situation with the particular conditions. That's why not all the methods and strategies work for all the children. Some strategy may be working in particular situation, may not be working in other situation. So when we are addressing that behavior problem in the classroom, the same problem behavior may not arise in the ground or play area. The way which we control the problem behavior in the classroom may not be possible to control in the home. So the way which the parents are controlling the problem behavior at home may not be possible at school. So that we need to analyze the entire situation and develop an appropriate methods and strategies that works in the particular situation, particular classroom, a particular area, or the particular situation, or particular children with, or the particular people with. Not one strategy that works for all, entire population. Say for example, one strategy which is designed for autism spectrum disorder, so that cannot be prescribed for the entire group of autism spectrum disorder. So that differs from person to person. The best practices may be applicable with its own cultural and linguistic variables. So because the cultural situation, the linguistic variable, so these all differ from, especially in our country, so we are know that the diversity is more. So that cultural and linguistic variables has to be considered. The methods and strategies are individualized, that can be well understood before practicing. Then we need to execute the method of differentiated instruction. So differentiated instruction is very much required nowadays to address the entire classroom, the children in the entire classroom, address the needs of children admitted into the classroom, entire classroom. The differentiated instruction is like the learner need is addressed. The entire classroom learner need is addressed by the single teacher. The challenges of teachers to educate the children with special education needs, a lot of challenges the teacher encounters, the teacher coming across, like that single teacher, she has to work, she has to make arrangements. So because of that, she gets tired and she also doesn't get motivated much. So she don't get appreciated with other people, by the other people. And she also doesn't get appreciation from the parents. The parent support is also very minimal. So when the teacher gives some program to carry out at home, the parent doesn't do at home and come back with the same status. The government also doesn't support in terms of any other benefits. The additional paperwork also gives additional burden for the teachers, because The teacher will be going around with the papers or the that forms, filling up the forms, a lot of forms, and that additional burden for the teachers, and scheduling the activities, that is very much challenging for the teachers, scheduling the activities. So I request the participant to interact. How do you schedule the activities when the people are when the people with challenges are enrolled in the classroom?
Professor, I'm Mani here.
Yes, sir.
The participants may not be able to speak to you because they have been streamed through YouTube.
Oh,
they can only send. They can only post their doubts and clarification to the resource persons. It will be taken up by one of our organizing committee members, and they will be addressed to you, sir.
Fine, sir. Fine, sir.
Yeah. May I request Vincent, sir? Is there any of you our members or there to address the points being put up in the chat box of YouTube by the valuable participants, sir? Vincent, sir? Lakshmi ma'am?
Sir, yes, sir. We will try, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can just clarify with the most respected resource person, Dr. Kamaraj, sir, please. Professor, if you would have finished, then we can go for
another 5 minutes, sir. I'll finish it up.
You want to finish it up, then you wanted to take up that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, then you please continue, sir. Please continue.
Yes. So scheduling, making timetable, that's also very much challenging, because the general education program that also come in, and the special education program that also has to be taken care. The additional program, like that therapeutic program or health issues or any other that issues, any other program that also need to be addressed in the schedule. And the training and supervising para-professionals, that also is challenging for the teachers. Collaborating with general education teachers, that also is very much challenging. And data collection is very much challenging, because the general education teachers sometimes provide the real fact. Sometimes they don't bother to provide. The teachers, the other that the teachers also, they don't cooperate. The parents also, they don't cooperate. So as a result, that data collection is very challenging for the teachers. And the evidence of student growth is very feeble. The student improvement is very feeble. So as a result, the entire system gets bored. Entire system gets that demotivated. The variability of students' need, so that also very challenging. And when the teachers are working in the rural area, so much more challenges are faced by the teachers. And challenges in the teacher preparation. So the policies have given the directions to universities, colleges, national institute and NGOs for developing manpower to address the needs of persons with disabilities. But unfortunately, the national institutes are equipped with the resources, much of resources, compared to university and NGOs. University has highly qualified manpower, but whereas the practical exposure is very minimal. Whereas NGOs, the practical exposures are more, but whereas the highly qualified manpowers are very minimal. The number of national institutes are limited all over India, and experience of organizing the shorter orientation program on persons with disabilities, intervention for persons with disabilities, because the in-service teachers are very old, so they come with gray hair, and the service the training provider, so these people are youngsters, and the service taker, the training participants, they will not have that much interest in getting that kind of input or taking that kind of input at that age. So these are the various challenges we are facing in teacher preparation. And the program, undertaking the program of writing the IEP and lesson plan for group instruction and inclusive pedagogy, development of inclusive pedagogy. Pedagogy, all the people are well versed with. So inclusive pedagogy, like that bringing UDL practice into the pedagogy. So that is very much challenging for the general education program. And it's very much challenge of integrating with other program into the education. So we have to integrate with other program like health and sanitation, family empowerment program, infrastructure and architectural, transportation, communication, technology, social benefits, support system. So these are various programs which closely are associated with educational system, educational program. So it is very difficult to integrate and very challenging for the teachers to integrate and work with. So earlier, so when I was no student, the doctor used to visit and take a health checkup periodically. Now I do not know whether the doctors are visiting the school or not. Similarly, all the program, entire system, they come forward and work together. The challenges of operation and execution of the education program for children with special education needs, the implementation monitoring agencies, so that highly responsible for the central government and the state government together, and they can also have a participation program with the NGOs. So these are all the guidelines given for implementing and monitoring, but the quality is very much challenging in implementing and monitoring. So finance, when it comes to finance, so the cost of or the expenditure of education of persons with disabilities are 2 or 2.5 times more than the general education program. So we get hardly any financial support for implementing the special education program. So these are all the projects. So as and when we get the central government fundings, so we implement. So once the funding is stopped, the programs are expected to take over by the local government or by the NGOs. So these are all certain challenges we face. And finally, the consideration and conclusion is that the policymakers should anticipate the entire problem of children with special education needs and give a scope to provide holistic services in an integrated manner. The convergence and the linkages should be made among the service providers, among the stakeholders. The awareness, assessment, diagnostic and intervention program that should have consideration of geographical, cultural, linguistic and other factors to make it more friendly. The HRD, yes, that has to be penetrated in all the areas, and the specialization program should be kept in the master degree program, master degree level. So the pedagogy should be, very addressing the needs of all the people, including persons with disabilities, that universal design for learning, universal design and universal design for learning, universal design. So that's a responsibility of the technical education. Like all the engineering colleges, they should come forward to take up that universal design. Like that architectural barrier, removing the architectural barrier, or overcoming the architectural barrier, or transportation barrier, or communication barrier. All these that engineering people there should come forward and take over and help us. And universal design, all the educators should come forward and and include or develop the inclusive pedagogy by introducing that UDL principles into the pedagogy system. So these are certain consideration need to be look forward. So in the future. So when we develop a program, so we have to understand the past and the existing program, and we have to forecast what would be. Once upon a time we were not aware of the term disability. Now we are well versed with the term disability, and in future, are we going to stay with the disability, or are we going to reform or evolve? So what will be the future? That the forecasting should be there, so that we'll be providing a prompt service to person with disabilities. So thank you, Professor. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share our ideas and knowledges.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor. Dhanalakshmi ma'am, is there any clarification, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Or-
It is posted.
Okay, or else I have one clarification with the respected resource person. If there is any clarification, there is no clarification from the participants. Please go ahead.
Nagalakshmi, just you proceed, ma.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable and motivational speech. Now it's time for interaction. Participants, if you have any doubts and queries, please comment your share and yours in the chat box.
So some of the participants have posted their comments in the YouTube that we took in the posted in the Google Meet chat box, sir. First question is Miss Reshma PP has asked that in this pandemic situation, how can we provide effective online teaching?
Very good question, but that right now the current practice is that our teachers are providing two-dimensional model, not three-dimensional, two-dimensional model. Like the teachers are demonstrating the activities, and the parents and the children are observing the teacher, and the teacher is asked that parent to practice in front of the teacher, and whatever they are doing, so through online only we are able to interact and correct, and we are able to guide and then proceed with that. There is no other way. And the three-dimensional model, that materials are supplied to some extent, but we are not allowed to stay for long time at home. So using that three-dimensional model, our volunteers, they go and help the people, I mean parents, to experience those three-dimensional model material and cope up with the situation. This is the current practice what we are doing. I do not know about other people how they are doing. Most of the NGO they are doing this practice only.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Sir, shall I just clarify only one point with the resource person, sir?
Sure, sir.
Sir, from my childhood till date, I have been just observing and listening to the people of the community that if there is any special child, either in our home or maybe in somebody else's home, people used to speak very badly about the special children and their parents, and I understand it is a kind of a social stigma being very much practiced in our community. So what is your suggestion with regard to dealing with this social stigma, sir, please?
Sir, this is lack of awareness on this, that rights, lack of awareness of the rights. So it is punishable. No one should use certain words like that we are using the word normal, that also is not applicable. So disabled, non-disabled, so that is not allowed. So there are certain guidelines given by that United Nations organizations, so that we need to practice. So when they are using certain that abusive or certain that exploiting or certain kind of that treatment, ill treatment, so it is illegal, so it is punishable. So because lack of this act, the awareness on this act, lack of awareness on this that legal implications, people are using this. So like what are all the basic rights we are all having, so that totally we are lack of. So there is no awareness, that's why we are taking it advantage, and then using certain words. So these are all not, these are not allowed. These are not permitted to use. So whom I to talk somebody else, talk about somebody else, his condition, or somebody else is, his criticize his, that all these things. It is not my business. So the people has to understand that. The people has to understand that. So highly it is punishable, sir. Highly it is punishable, and the people can take the help of, they can address the issue. If such issues are there, they can address such issue to that local DDRO or commissioner, state commissioner, so that the state commissioner will take stringent action against such sudden that ill treatment. So but on the whole, the people have to realize that they are also human being, they are also part of society, and if they are trained well, they will be contributing to our family or society or to our community. This is what they should develop the attitude.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Then I would like to welcome Ms. Sindhija to deliver a vote of thanks.
Good morning, one and all gathered here. On this wonderful morning, I would like to present the vote of thanks. It's a march of pride for me. I got the chance to thank everyone present here. I would like to thank that organizing committee. On behalf of Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University and Lakshmi College of Education, I extend my gratitude for resource person Dr. P. Kamaraj, head of the department NIEPMT Chennai, who handled the section Challenge to Education of Children with Special Needs. He thought his speech, special needs is a very broad term and every situation is unique. Families should focus on seeing on the help and the guidance needed for this particular concern. I take this golden opportunity to thank the respected resource person Dr. P. Kamaraj for attending this function in her busy schedule and sharing insights and wisdom will of us. We will cultivate the advice have us in real life. Thank you, sir. A special thanks to Ms. M. Kalevani, Assistant Professor, Lakshmi College of Education, for introducing the resource person. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to thank Ms. Day-7, first B.Ed, who delivered the welcome address. My special thanks to Ms. Lakshmi, first B.Ed, who master of ceremony. My sincerely thanks each and everyone wholeheartedly for glorifying this event with your gracious presence. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Sindhija. Dear participants, now it's time for valediction. Without you all, it's not possible to make this program as a successful one. Once again, I thank you one and all. All participants, your doubts and queries will be posted to your mail, clarified, and it will be sent to your mail. Now, I hand over the session to Ms. Kema for the valedictory ceremony. Once again, I thank you one and all.
Good morning, everyone. Thank God for all who give relief for those who really care, who put their arms around the weak and plead for them in prayer. Thank God for those who hear the heart and listen to the words, who know a look or gentle touch mean more than all the world. Let's hope the Almighty grace upon us, and we begin our valediction function. On this note of this beautiful poem, I would like to invite everyone to this 1 week online international faculty development program. Education and Tamil America TV, jointly organizing this 1 week online international faculty development program. We are on the final day of the program. I feared this once, but I never knew that a sky so black was once so blue. Keeping in mind this inspirational poetry, I would like to call Miss T. Divya, first year B.Ed student for Lakshmi College, of Education for invocation. Please welcome.
Thank you, Hema. Let's begin our validity ceremony with.
Thank you, Ms. Divya. Now I would like to call Dr. M. Malarvili, Principal of Lakshmi College of Education, for the welcome address. Please welcome, ma'am.
Good morning to all. A warm and hearty welcome to you all. It's my great pleasure to welcome all academicians, delegates, teachers, research scholars, and student teachers from all over the countries to attend this one-week online international faculty development program starting from 14th June 2021 to 28th June 2021. Is being organized on the theme Facets of Teaching, and program is being organized by Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University, Chennai, and Lakshmi College of Education, Gandhigram, Dindigul. I am so delighted to see you all together here. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. With this goal, we are glad to have the gracious presence of our Chief Patron, Professor Dr. Panchanathan, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University, Chennai. On this auspicious day, the college gives a hearty welcome you, sir, on this great occasion. A leader's job is not to do the work for others. It's to help others figure out how to do it themselves, to get things done, and to succeed beyond what they thought possible. With this quote, I would like to welcome Professor Dr. Subbaya, Honorable former Vice Chancellor, Alagappa University, Karaikudi. Welcome you, sir. Leadership is not about a title or designation. It's about impact, influence, and inspiration. With this quote, I'm glad to welcome Professor Dr. Jawaharlal Nehru, Honorable Vice Chancellor, JSS Science and Technology University, Mysore. Welcome you, sir. I would like to welcome our co-patrons, most respected Sri V.K. Shivakumaranna, Managing Trustee, Gandhigram Trust, Secretary of Lakshmi College of Education, Gandhigram. Dr. Most respected Dr. Professor Balakrishnan, Register, and eminent Professor Dr. Govind, the Controller of Examiner, and I heartily welcome Dr. Ganesan, Professor Head, Department of Pedagogical Science, Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University, Chennai. Mr. Aston Gilchrist, Founder and President, Tamil America TV, New York, USA. We welcome you all. I am very happy to welcome Dr. Professor Mani, convener of this program, Director, Center for National and International Academic Collaboration, Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University. Welcome, sir. I feel glad to welcome Professor Ajit Singh Rana, Professor Head, School of Education, Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar Open University, Gujarat. Now, I am glad to welcome the organizing secretary of this program, Dr. Subramanian, Deputy Director, Center for National and International Academic Collaboration, Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University, Chennai, and Dr. Vincent Rajasekhar, Assistant Professor, Lakshmi College of Education, Gandhigram, who took much effort to organize this program in a magnificent way. And I am very happy to welcome the organizing Joint Secretary, Ms. Lakshmi, Associate Professor, and Ms. Uma Maheshwari, Assistant Professor, Lakshmi College of Education, Gandhigram, for this eminent occasion. And I also welcome our organizing committee, Ms. Kalaimani, Assistant Professor, and Ms. Thirumagal, Assistant Professor, Lakshmi College of Education, Gandhigram, and advisory committee for this program. I'm extremely overwhelmed to welcome all the great speakers, delegates, and guests from various countries. It's my gratitude to welcome all the faculties, research scholars from different walks of life. They have come to share their knowledge and vast experience with us. We all welcome you, sir and madam. And I heartily welcome student teachers from various institutions from all over the countries for participating in this one-week online international faculty development program. All your attending made us pleasure. Again, we welcome you all. Thank you very much for the great golden opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a wonderful welcome address. You can only become your confidence at something you love. Don't make money your goal. Instead, pursue the things you love doing and then do them so well that people can't take their eyes off you. On the soulful words of Maya Angelou, I would like to call Dr. P. Subramanian, one of the organizing secretary and Deputy Director of Center for National and International Academic Collaboration of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, for report reading. Please welcome, sir.
Am I audible, madam?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you so much. Most respected dignitaries, respected organizing committee members of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, Lakshmi College of Education, and Tamil America TV. Respected participants, my warm and special good morning to one and all gathered here. It's my great privilege and honor to present the report of 1 week online international faculty development program on Facets of Teaching held from 14/6/2021 to 26/2021, jointly organized by Center for National and International Academic Collaborations of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, Lakshmi College of Education, Gandhigram, and Tamil America TV. The 1 week online international faculty development program on Facets of Teaching began with an inaugural function on 14/6/2021. The welcome address delivered by most respected Dr. M. Malarveli Madam, Principal, Lakshmi College of Education. Respected Dr. F. Vincent Rajasekhar Sir, Organizing Secretary, Assistant Professor, Lakshmi College of Education, delivered the concept note on Faculty Development Program. Respected Mrs. K. Dhanalakshmi Madam, Associate Professor, Lakshmi College of Education, introduced the guest Professor G. Pankaja Madam, former Vice Chancellor, Gandhigram Rural Institute and Chairman of Lakshmi College of Education. Esteemed Professor G. Pankaja Madam gave presidential address in the most fitting manner. Myself, Dr. P. Subramanian, Assistant Professor, Department of Education Planning and Administration, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, introduced the guest Professor N. Panchanadam Sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University. The most respected, distinguished Professor N. Panchanadam Sir delivered inaugural address in an impeccable way. Most respected Sri K. Sivakumar Sir, Secretary of Lakshmi College of Education, most revered Professor Balakrishnan Sir, Registrar of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, esteemed Professor M. Govindan Sir, Controller of Examinations and Dean of Faculty of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, eminent Professor P. Ganesan Sir, Professor and Head Department of Pedagogical Sciences, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, and very respected Mr. Austin Gildas Sir, Founder President, Tamil America TV, New York, gave felicitation address and appreciated the efforts taken by the organizing team of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University and Lakshmi College of Education and Tamil America TV. Respected Mrs. M. Umagad Maheswari Madam, Assistant Professor, Lakshmi College of Education, introduced the guest, respected Dr. Prabhakar Vincent Sir, Founder, MD, MMI Education and Training, who gave the special address on the occasion. Most respected Professor S. Mani Sir, Director of Center for National and International Academic Collaborations, convener of this program, Professor and Head of the Department of Education Planning and Administration of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, proposed hearty vote of thanks. The Master of Ceremony for the inaugural function was done by Ms. M. Hema, first year MR student, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University. On the day 2, for the first session, the resource person, respected Mrs. Padma Rajagopal Madam, Consultant, Special Education, Texas, USA, spoke on the topic Role of Regular Education Teachers in Special Education in detail. In the session 2 of day 2, the resource person, respected Dr. Theo Xian Hoon Madam, Professor, Faculty of Education, University Technology, Mara, Malaysia, explained about postgraduate supervision with lot of examples. In the session 1 of day 3, the resource person, respected Dr. Geetanjali Narayanan Madam, Faculty of Education, Coordinator of Examinations, University Technology, Mara, Malaysia, shared her expertise on the topic flipped classroom in detail. The resource person, the second resource person, respected Dr. Peterson Oigara Ubara, the coordinator, Mount Kenya University, Kenya, explained about education and COVID-19 in detail with lot of life experiences. In the session 1 of day 4, the resource person, respected Dr. A. Tirumurthy Sir, Professor, Department of Psychiatric Social Work, NIMHANS, Bangalore, spoke on the topic promotion of well-being among students in detail. In the session 2 of day 4, the resource person, respected Dr. A. John Lawrence Sir, Associate Professor, St. Xavier's College of Education, Palayamkottai, Tamil Nadu, explained about outcome-based education in detail. In the session 1 of day 5, the resource person, respected Dr. Balakrishnan Muniandi sir, Professor of Education Technology, Head, Vivasan Open University, Malaysia, shared his expertise on the topic innovation instruction and research in detail. In session 2 of day 5, the resource person respected Kartiyayini Subramanian Madam, Associate Professor, Faculty of Education, University Technology, Mara, Malaysia, explained about nuts and bolts of academic research writing in detail. In the session 1 of day 6, the resource person respected Dr. Kiran Lada Dangwal Madam, Faculty of Education, University of Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, spoke on the topic Insights into the World of Online Learning in detail. In the session 2 of day 6, the resource person respected Dr. Anand R. Nayak sir, Vice Principal, Indian School, Bahrain, explained about quality teaching through lateral thinking in detail. In the last day, the session 1 of day 7, the resource person respected Dr. P. Kamraj sir, Head of the Department, NICMAD, Chennai, shared his expertise on the topic Challenges to Education of Children with Special Needs in detail. Thus, the one-week online international faculty development program went on well with the active discourse and deliberations of vibrant resource persons. All the esteemed resource persons have answered all the questions posted by the participants during the discussion. For all the 7 days, the live telecast was given by Tamil America TV. I declare with pleasure that more than 1,300 enthusiastic participants are actively participating in this faculty development program in Google Meet online platform and YouTube live stream from the day 1 to till now. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for your amazing words. Now I would like to request Professor Ajay Singh Rana, Professor and Head of School of Education, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University, for the feedback. Please welcome, sir.
Hello, Namaskar. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir. Namaskar, sir. Please.
Good morning, all of you. Honorable Chief Patrons, most respected Professor Dr. N. Panchnatham ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor of TNTU, equally respected Professor Dr. G. Pankajam, Chairman, Lakshmi College of Education, Gandhigram, Honorable Co-Patrons, Conveners of the International FDP, my friend Dr. S. Mani, Director Center for National and International Academic Collaborations, TNTU, equally respected M. Mallar Vizi, Organizing Secretaries, Joint Organizing Secretaries, and all respected dignitaries of this valedictory function. After 25 years, I joined this type of FDP program because I want to recharge myself. And in one line, I can say I gained a lot in terms of knowledge, in terms of updated content, technology, etc. I must congratulate all the organizers and their team for conducting and completing successfully such kind of wonderful, meaningful, and very much useful FTP. I assure you, for the next program, me and my team, my friends from Gujarat, would love to join such kind of faculty development programs and other seminars. We have to listen to today's dignitaries. So I conclude here. Thank you, Professor N. Panchnatham ji and Professor S. Mani ji, for giving me such kind of opportunity. Thank you very much, and best wishes to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your precious words. Now I would like to request Ms. Atika Binti Zafar, PhD Scholar, University Technology, Mara, Malaysia, for the feedback. Please welcome, ma'am.
Hi, thank you very much. First of all, I would like to say, Gordon, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my feedbacks on this 1 week online International Faculty of Development program on Facets of Teachings. First of all, let me say congratulations to Tamil Nadu Education University for conducting these programs, this 7 days program successfully. And I would say that I really glad and thankful to my supervisor, Dr. Gitanjali Narayanan, who has encouraged and recommended me to attend this seminar. This is because this seminar is actually very useful and very beneficial, as it has pointed out a lot of essentials and recent issues in educations. Especially with very different perception all over the globes, teachers all over the globes. And one of the essential issues that I think has been abandoned usually is that the importance of student well-beings, because it has its own stigma, and so most of teachers tend to hide these issues. But thanks to this seminar, it has been an eye-opener, so the teachers will be more aware toward these issues. And one of the issues that I think is very beneficial for us to discuss is that the importance of early and ample exposure towards academic writings, because a lot of people think that teachers should be focused on teachings, learners should be focused on learnings, and lecturers should be focusing on giving lectures. But actually, the importance of conducting academic research and studies is actually very important as teaching as well, because it will provide a room of improvement to learning and teaching process. I would say this platform is very beneficial because it's not only provides a lot of essential issues to be discussed, but it's also a platform for the teachers to exchange experience and ask questions that might help in order to upgrade their learning and teaching process in future. So thank you very much to the organizer, and congratulations once again to Tamil Nadu Education University for organizing this seminar. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Hema.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Hema,
Yes, sir.
you can call
Yes, sir.
next
Yes,
to
sir.
the Secretary of Lakshmi College of Education, Secretary, ma. Next, Secretary of College of Education.
Moving on, now I'd like to call upon Sri Kumar, Secretary of Lakshmi College of Education for Qualification. Please welcome, sir.
Honorable Vice Chancellor and Honorable Retired Vice Chancellors, esteemed members of education from Tamil Nadu University, members, my own colleagues, and members. It is a very impressive performance for the past 1 week. A well-planned, a well-initiated, well-planned, and well-executed webinar. Normally, we in Gandhigram used to stress our vision that any educational system we are aiming is to reach the rural small child in a village which just kisses her sister and takes leave from the parents who are working in the agriculture and goes to the school. The education system for these children should be the same quality as we are giving to a richest person in Mount Abu with the well-dusted ties and etc. The quality of education given to these two people should be same, and that is our vision.
And in fact, we have been working in natural environment and with its uniqueness. And we are so happy that we are able to get many new ideas, new impressions in implementing all these things. We are grateful for the Vice Chancellor and all his team for the excellent way in which they have conducted and helped us in conducting this program. And we learned many things. Our own student learned many things. And we hope these learnings will be consolidated and we will design the system so that, as we used to say, the rural child who is going in the school should get the same quality of education for the betterment of the citizen. Thank you for all.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to call upon Shri K. Shiv Kumar, Secretary of Lakshmi College of Education, for felicitation. Please welcome, sir.
No, ma, just finished, ma. You just call our registrar. Emma?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will call.
Please call our registrar. Shivakumar Anna has just finished. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sorry for the interruption. I request our most respected registrar of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, Professor V. Balakrishnan, for felicitation. Please welcome, sir. Please, sir. Please welcome.
Hello, audible irukuma? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible, sir. Please, sir.
A happy morning to all of you. At the outset, I will thank the Almighty for giving me an opportunity to deliver felicitation address on this happy occasion of 1 week international webinar on Facets of Teaching, jointly organized by Center for National International Academic Collaboration, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, Lakshmi College of Education, Tamil America TV. First of all, let me thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor for motivating, initiating, encouraging, and guiding us to organize this type of international webinar on Facets of Teaching, which is the need of the hour. I accord loving gratitude to Dr. N. Panjanathan sir, Vice Chancellor, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, Professor Dr. L. Jawahar Nasan, former Vice Chancellor, JSS Science and Technology University, Mysore, and Professor Dr. Supaya, former Vice Chancellor, Agapa University, who are going to deliver presidential address, special address, and valedictory address, respectively. I accord imposing congratulations to the organizing committee consisting of Dr. S. Mani, convener Dr. S. Malarvidi, convener Principal, Lakshmi College of Education, and organizing secretaries Dr. F. Vincent Rajasekhar, Dr. P. Subramanian, and organizing joint secretaries M. Uma Mageswari, K. Dhanlakshmi, and organizing committee members M. Kalavani Madam, Lakshmi College of Education, and Devendra Kula Thirumahal for their commitment and responsibility for successfully organizing this type of international webinar towards the growth and development of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University and its affiliated colleges. I accord imposing congratulations to the audience and the participants of this mega event on faculty development program for the first 1 week. I render appealing blessing to the M.Ed student M. Hema, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, and T. Divya, B.Ed student, Lakshmi College of Education, for their involvement for successful completion of this international webinar. I regard special and appealing benediction to Sri K. Sivakumar, Secretary, Lakshmi College of Education, Dr. M. Govindan, Professor and Head, Department of Education Psychology, Control of Examination, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, Dr. P. Ganesan, Professor and Head, Department of Pedagogical Sciences, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, Mr. Austin Giltus, Founder and President, Tamil America TV, New York, USA, for their active involvement to deliver felicitation address on this valedictory session. Best of luck. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request our most respected Controller of Examination and Dean of Faculty of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, Professor Dr. M. Govindan, for felicitation. Please welcome, sir.
Good morning to all. Really, I am happy to associate with this 1 week online international faculty development program jointly organized by Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, Lakshmi College of Education, and Tamil America TV. On behalf of the Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University and the organizing team, I welcome and thank to the most respected Honorable Vice Chancellor of our university, Professor N. Panjanathan sir, and the Honorable former Vice Chancellor of Alagappa University, Professor Subbaiah sir, Honorable former Vice Chancellor of JSS Science and Technology University, Professor Jamaganesan sir, and the well-wisher of our university, Professor Ajit Singh Rana ji, Professor Head, School of Education, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University, Gujarat, and respected Registrar of our University, Professor Balakrishnan sir, and all the dignitaries for participating and gracing this faculty development program. On behalf of the Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, I wholeheartedly congratulate the organizing team, particularly Professor Mani sir and Professor Dr. Malavi madam, and all the team members of this FDP for organizing such a wonderful and very useful program during this pandemic period. The title of the program is Facets of Teaching. Today, there is many controversies regarding to teaching profession. In my perception, teaching is more of an art than science. Why? Because today, many people, many teachers, they are serve the or deliver the material in a pleasant manner and a good manner to the students. Another thing, another facet of teaching is today many teachers, we are teaching only the word to the students, but real teaching means to teach the world. That is very, very important one. That's why we have to shift our teaching from the basic 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic, to the another 4 R's, that is 7 R's, the remaining 4 R's, that is rights, responsibilities, relationship, and recreations. So these are all very, very essential one, particularly during this pandemic period. The another thing is today, most of us, we are focusing only on the head and hands. That is to strengthen or increase the EQ, that is emotional knowledge, emotional skills, as well as spiritual skills of the students. That is very, very important one. And the real teaching means the teaching should be to teach the mind as well as touch the heart of the students. This is very, very important one. The another, finally, real teaching means the another aspect of teaching means that is the teaching of value education. Value education is like a base for a building. Nowadays, we are more concentrating on only the Western type of education, that is to strengthening their cognitive skills as well as the psychomotor skills. But we have to concentrate on value education. Value education is a pillar. Value education is a base for a building. I have read one book. In that book, they have written as a man constructed a house and named it as Anna Illam, but his mother is living in an orphanage. In Tamil, கட்டிய வீட்டிற்கு அன்னை இல்லம் என்று பெயர் வைத்தான், அன்னை இருப்பதோ அனாதை இல்லத்தில். What is the reason behind this? What's the rationale part behind this? Because of lack of value education. So we have to focus for value education in a systematic way for strengthening the students' values, knowledge, and attitude. So with these words, I once again congratulate the organization team for having given me the opportunity given for me. Thank you, Ananda.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to request our most respected professor and head of Department of Pedagogical Science, Professor Dr. P. Ganeshan, for felicitation. Please welcome, sir.
Hello. Yes.
We muted your mic, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. My voice is audible. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, all of you. You know, I warm greetings and I warm good note to the intellectual personalities and organizing committees and then emerging the faculties and scholars and my beloved colleagues. First of all, I thank to our Honorable Vice Chancellor. Each and every webinar period, I tell that one because he is a man of action and he motivated all the professors, not only the assistant professor, all the professors should be for
Ganesh sir, we are not able to listen. We are not able to listen to you. You are not audible, sir.
You know the organ. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, it's audible or not? Hello. Hello.
We are not able.
Hello?
We are not able to hear you. Please. Now it's okay. Please go ahead. Now it's okay. Please go ahead. Yes, sir.
My voice
please
is
go
audible
ahead.
or not? Sir, my voice is audible.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Then
Professor PG sir, பேசுங்க.
Yes, sir.
Professor PG sir.
கேக்குதா சார்? சொல்லுங்க சார்.
கேக்குது சார், பேசுங்க சார். கணேசன் சார், பேசுங்க.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And then I got with our great persons. Whatever you want, you just tell, sir, I want to this one. Just wholeheartedly he helped 2 hours. That's a great man of our registrar. And then, if in the pandemic period also he never followed his life, and then we challenged the corona, and then 24 hours is working in our department, and I thank our Honorable Controller of Examination. So I thank you, sir. On behalf of our department, our university, I extend my thanks to the American, the American telecast to our Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University with our Lakshmi College of Education. And then extend my wholehearted thanks to all other persons of the gathering. And it was a fantastic one. Our Controller of Examination rightly pointed out the 3 hours and then 7 hours. But we are the pupils, we are the teacher, we must know, we must have the 3 cultures. First one is the heart, and hand. These three is a very, very effective one of our teaching. So in these 7 days, I think our great Professor Dr. Manisa, he is a great man in our pieces in our university. Why I say this only, he is a planning and administrator of the HOD, and he is director of the IPAC, and he kept all these things. Why I say because he is a man of action and he done it all these things in a very good manner. So that's the way we are the persons of the 3H is very, very important one. I think the 7 days webinar also given this opportunity to the lecturing, and at the same way he is organizing each and every representatives. You know, those who are here, the representatives of this great, wonderful webinar, they ask the question and clear their doubts. It is very good job in this webinar, sir. Then wholeheartedly, I thank all of you given the opportunity to me to given the felicitator world great others. Thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Now, moving on, I would like to inform that there's a slight change. Mr. Austin Giltis, founder and president of Tamil America TV, he is busy with streaming of the program. He requested Sri Uday to felicitate the gathering on behalf of Tamil America TV. Please welcome, sir.
Thank you all. Because of from New York televisions, Dr. Ganesh, and your audio is more echoes because of you need to be off one devices, maybe cell you can off, then only it will be come out very clearly. So that's some interruptions in our studio. So I don't want to disturb you that time. So that's why after finishing your talk, so it's one device is okay. So now we are seeing double Dr. Ganesh in here. So that's all. Tamil Nadu teaches education university and the Lakshmi College of Education and Tamil America TV jointly organized and fantastic, marvelous program in history of both colleges for a week, international faculty development program and seminars. That will be very remarkable in the history of your career. All the programs, time to time we in studio we watched. This is every participant. All the professors well performed and everything went well. First of all, I congrats our honorable Vice Chancellor and former Vice Chancellors and all the professors and all the dignitaries and organizers, those who are from Tamil Nadu Teachers Education Universities, as well as Lakshmi College of Educations. I give my personal thank Professor Dr. S. Mani doing all the things and everything put together. That will be great achievement in the history of your programs. Definitely this time, this program fully engaged and engaged as well as encouraged the students as well as the faculties as well as the professors and all the teachers. On behalf of Austin Gills, our founder of Tamil America TV, also our management team from Tamil America, we wishing you, I know it's a very hot India, so I wishing you cool breeze wishes. And also it is 2 a.m. from America, Saturday night, 2:20 a.m. So midnight off sleep, I give this short my wishes to everyone, those who are here. Also, a few words. Tamil America always welcomes you, and we had a good rapport developed with Tamil Nadu Teachers Education Universities and Lakshmi College of Education, and we are extended our programs to so many multiple colleges and universities. They joined day by day, having Tamil America to broadcast their programs. What is the outcome? This program not only state and national, it is international, as well as it's going everywhere. More than 20 countries watching our programs, as well as there are so many beneficiaries in this program because of your efforts. That will be great. தனி ஒரு மனிதனுக்கு உணவு இல்லை என்றால் ஜெகத்தினை அழித்திடுவோம் என்றார். தற்காலத்திலே தனி ஒரு மனிதனுக்கு கல்வி என்றால் டேஷ் டேஷ் அதை என்ன பண்ணணுமோ அது வைஸ் சான்சலர் இருக்கிறாரு, அவர் தான் பண்ணணும் எல்லாம். அதனால ஆல் எக்ஸலன்சி, I will give my heartful congrats, and also you can join with us with Tamil America TV anytime. These invitations to all the universities, all the colleges, even the individual professors. If you have something, you have some program or some talk, something need to be addressed to everyone. Tamil America give the slot for you. You can put a name, professor, like example, Professor Mani giving the speech on this topic. To anybody you can join, Tamil America willingly to do and offered everyone. Use the Professor Dr. Mani example, but everyone of you can go tamilamericatv.com, just to sign your name and what do you want to do with maybe your program, your seminar, or your some kind of your thoughts need to be go downtrodden. Then students, other faculties, Tamil America gives the slot for you. So I'm proudly announce this behalf of our founder Austin from Tamil America, and all other facilitators and all the program dignitaries here. I really heartfelt wishes, and also so many colleges, universities. Now we are increasing more and more. That's why our Austin we live program some other programs, so he cannot come. My name is Thare R. Udayanasan, native of Gudiyatham, Vellore district, but I am here in USA for 20 years. So I am the one of the coordinators of Tamil America. Thank you. Thank you. We will see you again and again, more programs with Tamil America. Thank you. I wish you all. Thank you.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. I'm sorry, sir, we were not able to introduce you. The reason is just behind, very well known to the dignitaries.
That's fine.
Since in between you have joined, I'm very sorry. Professor, sir, Sri Udayanasan sir is a great scholar, a Tamil scholar. He has written a number of books and he is a great poet, the composer of many poems. He has been, composed, and he has won many prizes from Tamil Nadu as well as across the world for his literary contribution towards Tamil development. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. We are very sorry for it, sir. Please bear with us.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir.
Hema, you can go ahead, ma. You
Yes,
can go ahead.
I would like to request Ms. K. Lakshmi, Associate Professor, Lakshmi College of Education, for introducing the guest. Please welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Hema. Honorable dignitaries, special guest Dr. J. Gandhigram, Vice Chancellor, Sagadguru Sri Shivaratreswara Science and Technology University, Mysore, and Professor Dr. S. Subbaya, former Vice Chancellor, Alagappa University, Karaikudi, most respected Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Panjanathan Sir, Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University, most respected Sri K. Sivakumaranna, Secretary, Lakshmi College of Education, most respected Registrar, Dr. B. Balakrishnan Sir, most respected Dr. M. Govindan, Controller of Examination, most respected Dr. P. Ganesan, Professor and Head, Department of Pedagogical Science, most respected Mr. R. Udayanesan, Coordinator, Tamil America Television, New York, USA, and most respected Professor Ajit Singh Rana, Professor and Head, School of Education, Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar Open University, Gujarat, most respected resource persons of all 7 days, most respected conveners, Dr. S. Mani Sir, Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University, and Dr. Malavidi Madam, Principal, Lakshmi College of Education, respected organizing secretaries, Dr. P. Subramanian Sir, Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University, and F. Vincent Rajasekhar, Lakshmi College of Education, respected organizing joint secretaries, organizing committee members, advisory committee members, and my dear participants, respected educationists and faculties from other universities and from various educational institutions all over India and abroad. Very good afternoon to one and all present in the valedictory ceremony of 1 week International Faculty Development Program on Facets of Teaching, jointly organized by Center for National and International Academic Collaboration, Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University, Chennai, Lakshmi College of Education, Gandhigram, along with the media Tamil America Television, USA, from 14th to 20th June 2021. Now I am here to introduce Professor Dr. N. Panjanathan, the 4th Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University. Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University is responsible to monitor around 700 affiliated colleges of education in Tamil Nadu, which includes government, government-aided, and self-financing. SAR has 30 years of teaching and academic research experience and 10 years of industrial experience. He has visited more than 500 educational institutions covering 36 countries, to name few: USA, Russia, China, Germany, Philippines, Thailand, Nepal, Israel, Italy, Indonesia, and many others. All his abroad visits show his interest in academic, teaching, research, and training activities. He is the recipient of the first doctoral degree in the Department of Business Administration from Annamalai University. His research guidance includes 40 PhD scholars for their doctoral degree, 23 MPhil scholars, and 200 MBA candidates. He has received 41 prestigious national and international awards and fellowship. He has mobilized research, training, and consultancy grant to the tune of 325 lakhs, and he was a team member in mobilizing 20 crores through Rashtriya Uchasar Shiksha Abhiyan, a centrally sponsored scheme. He is a chairman and member of Board of Studies, Academic Council of various institutions, and a visiting professor of many universities in abroad. He organized more than 400 academic and research programs, including conferences, seminars, workshops, faculty development programs, and student development programs, etc. Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University started on July 2008 with a unique in nature to promote excellence in teacher education and promote dynamic and smart teachers for the benefit of the society and the nation, with the motto of decide, realize, and relate it to others. Previous 3 VCs have contributed on establishing and developing a strong base for this university. Particularly in the last 2 years, even in this pandemic, Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University organized more than 2,000 online programs and few world record events under the leadership of our Honorable BC, Dr. N. Panjanathan Sir. It makes our Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University fame in the flying colors across the world. All this about 2,000 online programs are organized by various university departments like Department of Pedagogical Science, Value Education, Educational Psychology, Educational Technology, Curriculum Planning and Evaluation, and Educational Planning and Administration, jointly with the affiliated colleges of education in the Tamil Nadu state. It helps teachers community to develop their knowledge and skill either by organizing, participating, or attending the program often. In addition, university staff are taking additional responsibility in various centers like Center for National and International Academic Collaboration, Center for Skill Development, Center for Civil Services and TNPSC Coaching, Center for Yoga and Meditation, and Center for Capacity Building Program for school teachers are to provide overall development in the learning community. All this happens only because of our great VC. We are so lucky to have such a great person as our VC. I am very proud to introduce and invite you, sir, for your valuable presidential address in this great occasion. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for all for giving me this memorable opportunity. Thank you all.
Good afternoon to all. Galaxy of honorable, respected, and wonderful personalities present in this great program organized by Tamil America Channel, Center for National and International Academic Collaborations under the leadership of Dr. Mani, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, and a renowned college, Lakshmi College of Education. All these three great institutions, organizations together for the past 1 week, they have been providing quality education, even to those who are already educators. Such a great program is going on. Very honorable people are present here. Professor Dr. Subbaiah, Honorable former Vice Chancellor of Alagappa University, and Honorable member of many committees of Government of India and Government of Tamil Nadu, a statesman, excellent administrator. This all, we are all telling not only because of the respect and love, affection we have on him, but also he has proved it. Tamil Nadu Alagappa University was the only university during that time to get A++, the highest NAC grade in Tamil Nadu. In All India rank also, it was in the first five, top five. So his dedication, his leadership, his academic activities, his directions, and the ability to play with the team in the within the stakeholders of Alagappa University. So such a great personality is available, and we are learning from him. Similarly, Professor Jawahar Nason, Honorable former Vice Chancellor of JSS, and when his biodata is going to be read, you will know how great person he is. Professor Ajit Singh Rana, a national personality, international educationist, wonderful human being, always supporting in all activities and representing, heading the department in Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University of Gujarat. Similarly, other great personalities like great Gandhian, respected person Sri K. Shivakumarji, people with respect they call him as Shivakumar Anna, and we got his blessings. And our wonderful, handsome, elite, smiling personality, Mr. Austin of Tamil America Channel, though he has sent another wonderful personality, his face is recorded in our mind and heart, and he will tell one or two jokes. He will tell one or two, last time also he told the elephant story, and he will use one or two Indian case studies. So such a wonderful personality. Now he has requested an equally well-respected, honorable person, our Uday Nason sir, from Kudiyatam, India, an American today, and serving people of all over the country, of all religion, all nations, particularly through Tamil America, our Tamil people. You see, his his friend, Mr. Austin, see that he is coming forward. You come. Anybody, a college wants to organize a program with us, come. A university wants to organize, come. Together you want to do it. Nobody is there. You are a teacher. You have got something to tell to the world. You come. See, this is what, see his heart. See his heart. So, such a great person. How encouraging it is. Manisar is thinking, when I and Manisar and I, we were young people in 10 years, we have not even seen a radio. Now, Tamil America is inviting. Tamil America is inviting. It is not only because of the greatness of Tamil America, but also greatness of people like respected Udaya Ganesan ji, who are part of this great. See, now it is the time to sleep for him. It is 2 o'clock day. In America, it is 2 o'clock, 2:30. You cannot, even if you put one glass of water on my face, it is very difficult for you to wake up me. But he is smiling, laughing, inviting, donating, appreciating, congratulating all of them. Sir, we all should learn. Actually, you are adding value to our mother country, India. You are adding value to our Tamil people, because it is an evidence that 24/7 Tamil America is working for the welfare of humanity in many countries, particularly taking Tamil. So we are very happy, sir. You are present here. Similarly, our galaxy of most respected professors, dignitaries present, like our registrar. I will speak another 1 hour about our registrar. So such a great personality. Our controller of the examination, short and sweet and voracious reader, Professor Mani, a dedicated teacher, one director of many avenues of many centers of this university. In university, night 9 o'clock, even also you should push him to go out of university. Otherwise, he will continue to work throughout the night. Such a great person, wonderful, respected personality. Our principal, Malarvini Madam, Dr. Subramanian. And after seeing Tamil America, even in his class also, now Subramaniam talking from, that is how he is asking. The impact of Tamil America is there. He is a specialist in vote of thanks. He is a specialist in welcome address, a wonderful orator now today. Similarly, Vincent, Mr. Dr. Vincent Rajashekar, Vincent 24/7, like a honey bee, he has been working for his institution. Madam Binti Jafar, again from Malaysia, now 3 hours, 2.5 hours, they are ahead. She spoke. Lakshmi Madam, Divya Madam, Uma Maheshwari Madam, Hema Madam, wonderful respected participants of thousands of participants, both through Tamil America. For the past 1 week, they have shared wonderful experience, rich experience of their life, educational life with the people. So I salute all of them. I congratulate all of them. I appreciate all of you. And I'll take only 2 more minutes and stop. That there are many roles. I'm repeating it. Teacher has to be a teacher, the first role. Teaching means reaching. Wonderful. Have you reached the student? Is more important. That has been, for which more qualities are required. One among them is tolerance. Tolerance is very important. Tolerance. How tolerance should be there in the internet? Somebody was telling, I think, Pullavar Shanmuga Vadiveli was telling, ஒரு ஆணி அடிச்சுக்கிட்டு இருக்கிற ஆசாரி தெரியாம இப்படி கையில போட்டுட்டார். உடனே மணிசார் மாதிரி ஒருத்தர் என்ன பண்ணிட்டாரு, கை செப்டிக் ஆயிடும், அது ஆயிடும், இது ஆயிடும், ஓடி டாக்டர்கிட்ட ஓடுன்னு ஓடி 4வது வீட்டுல தள்ளி விட்டார். அங்க போனா ஓடி வந்து ஒரு நர்சம்மா, என்ன கையில சின்ன விஷயம் வாங்கிறாரு, ஒரு மருந்து போடு ஓடி போயிடுறேன். அதெல்லாம் முடியாது, 41 டோக்கன் நம்பர் இருந்தா உட்கார வச்சு. என்னமா நான் பாதி வேலையை போட்டுட்டு வந்திருக்கேன். ப்ரொஃபசர் மணி சொன்னாரேன்னு உட்கார், பேசக்கூடாது, ஊசியை குத்து உட்கார். அவ்வளவு உட்காந்துட்டு சட்டையை கேட்டு பனியனை கேட்டு, இந்தம்மா நர்சம்மா அது பாருங்கம்மா கையில கொண்டோடுமா, இதுக்கேமா இதெல்லாம் கைட்ட சொல்ல, பேசக்கூடாது, ஊசி கண்ணை குத்துடும், உட்கார். உட்கார்ந்து வாயில தெர்மாமீட்டர் வச்சு திருப்பி பார்த்தா 45 பேர் அது மாதிரி உட்காந்துருக்கா, வாயில தெர்மாமீட்டர், சட்டை எல்லாம் பனியன் இல்லை. எதுக்காக வந்திருக்கான்னு தெரியல. இவருக்கு ஆத்திரம் தாங்க முடியல, குதிக்கிறார் இந்த ஆசிரியர் ஐயா கார்பெண்டர். அப்புறம் வந்து பேர் எடுத்துட்டு பேர் ஊரெல்லாம் கேட்டு எழுதிட்டு போன பிறகு இந்த 45வது ஆளை பார்த்து கேட்டு கத்துன்னு கத்துனாரு. ஏன் இந்த அம்மா இப்படி எல்லாம் பண்ணுது, அப்படி எல்லாம் பண்ணுதுன்னு. இவனை டாக்டருக்கு தான் படிச்சாரா, எம்பிபிஎஸ் தான் படிச்சாரா, இந்த மணிசாரால தான் நான் வந்திருக்க மாட்டேன்னா சொல்றாரு. அப்ப அந்த 45வது ஆள் இவரு 46 டோக்கன், 45 ஏயா கத்துற, இந்த நர்ஸு பொண்ணு என்ன சொல்லுதோ அது மாதிரி செஞ்சுட்டு போயா அப்படின்னு சொன்னேன். சரி, இவ்வளவு நர்ஸு பொண்ணுக்கு சப்போர்ட்டா வரிய, உனக்கு என்ன வியாதின்னு கேட்டேன். எனக்கு ஒரு வியாதியும் இல்லை. ஒரு வியாதி இல்லாட்டா சட்டையை கட்டிட்டு பனியனை கட்டிட்டு தெர்மாமீட்டர் வச்சுட்டு 45 டோக்கன் நம்ம வாங்கிட்டு ஏயா உட்காந்துருக்கேன்னா நான் என்ன பண்றது? நான் தபால் கொடுக்க வந்தா போஸ்ட்மேன். இந்த பொண்ணு வந்து உடனே என்ன பண்ணுது, இங்க யாரு வந்தாலும் சரி, டோக்கன்னா டோக்கன், சிஸ்டம்னா சிஸ்டம், சட்டையை கட்டி பனியனை கட்டி தெர்மாமீட்டரை வை, ரீடிங்லாம் எடுத்துக்கோ, ஸ்லிப்பு கொடுப்பேன், எடுத்துக்கிட்டு டாக்டர்கிட்ட போகுது. எவ்வளோ நாள் சொல்லி பார்த்தேன், கேட்க மாட்டேங்குது. நான் என்ன பண்றது? அதே மாதிரி செஞ்சு நவுந்து போய் டாக்டர்கிட்ட தபாலை கொடுப்பேன், கையெழுத்தை வாங்கிக்குவேன், சட்டையை போட்டுட்டு நான் பாட்டுக்கு போயிடுவேன் அப்படின்னு இன்டர்நெட்ல ஒருத்தர் சொன்னார். இது வந்து 1995 வாஸ் டிக்ளேர்ட் as the year of tolerance. ஒரு மனிதனுக்கு எவ்வளவு டாலரன்ஸ் இருக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு இன்னைக்கு போஸ்ட்மெண்ட் எல்லாம் நீங்க அப்படி சொல்ல முடியாது. உட்டாரணம் 3வது மணிக்கு வந்துடும் தபால். அது வந்து அந்த காலத்துல அப்படி நடந்ததுன்னு ஒரு கதையா சொல்லுவார். தென்கட்சி சுவாமிநாதன் ஐயா சொல்லுவார். Why I am telling, teacher's job also, facets of teaching. அன்னைக்கு பேசணும், preparation is a facet, communication is a facet, pedagogy is a facet. So many facets of teaching, so many great personalities have been speaking for the past 1 week. But the quality, the facet நல்லா வரணும்னா the quality of the teacher, quality matters. And the commodities-ல 1573 qualities one should imbibe to become a great leader of the classroom, as the name of a teacher John Adair is telling. அதுல one of the qualities is tolerance. எப்படிப்பட்ட children-லாம் இருப்பாங்க. So many varieties of children, people will be there. We have to adjust with them. All of them will not be in the same category. So that quality should have, teachers should have. Then good research is the second point. Institution building. I am very happy that Tamil America has come forward to help us to build our own institutions. Today, all teachers of Lakshmi College, all teachers of this particular Tamil Nadu Teachers Education Great University, they are involved. Even today it is a Sunday. See the controller of the examination 24/7. You see our registrar, see our Professor Mani, Professor Ganesan. You see them, no Sunday, no Saturday. Institution building process. Institution building process. Similarly, all others, particularly respected participants representing various institutions, today they do all these things. The last one is social responsibility. Like corporate social responsibility, teachers do have their own social responsibility to develop the community of not only that own place, but all over the world, as Tamil America does, the community of all countries, being developed through the broadcast of Tamil America channel. Similarly, we have been doing. So I once again congratulate all of you, and particularly Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University teachers and other officers have conducted more than 1,500 programs for the past 365 days in 1 year. And I request all respected participants to collaborate with the Lakshmi College of Education, Tamil America, and Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University to sign more MOUs. who are all welcome. And you all would have, I strongly believe that you have got a lot of new insights from resource persons, but also the existing insights, knowledge got reinforced. Keep learning, keep growing. Thanks for the opportunity given to me. Best wishes to all of you. Stay safe. God bless all.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an encouraging and inspirational words. Thank you so much. Now I would like to call Ms. Uma Maheshwari, Assistant Professor, Lakshmi College of Education, for introducing the guest. Please welcome now.
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Most respected Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. M. Panjanadam sir, respected Registrar Dr. V. Balakrishnan sir, respected Controller of Examination Dr. M. Govindan sir, respected Professor and Head Dr. P. Ganeshan sir, respected Dr. S. Mani sir, Director, Center for National and International Academic Collaborations and the convener of this international activity, Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University, Chennai, Professor Dr. S. Subbaiah, former Vice Chancellor of Alagappa University, Karaikudi, respected Professor Dr. G. Pangajam Amma, former Vice Chancellor of Gandhigram Rural Institute and the present Chairman of Lakshmi College of Education, respected K. Shivakumar Anna, Secretary of Lakshmi College of Education and Managing Trustee of Gandhigram Trust, respected Dr. M. Malarvili, Principal of Lakshmi College of Education, Gandhigram, and Mr. Udayanesan Sir, Coordinator, Tamil America TV, New York, USA. Very good afternoon to all and all gathered here. I am profusely overjoyed to take the opportunity to introduce our special invitee, Professor Dr. L. Jawahar Nesan, and will take the whole time. So it is a short time. I give a brief introduction. Professor Dr. L. Jawahar Nesan, former Vice Chancellor of JSS Science and Technology University, Mysore, and the former Vice Chancellor of Savitha University, Chennai. After 2 decades of academic experience in world's leading university across major continents, including North America, Europe, and Asia, Professor Nesan returned home India with the determination of help transform education to yield its intended purpose. With his learned notion that education is a continuous process of transmission of unsegregated collective human experience, knowledge, and values as desired by the society to the immature. And if this process is genuinely undertaken, a best form of social capital and social cohesion can be achieved, which is very much essential for socio-economic growth and national development. And the Professor Nesan believes that lack of this notion is university education has created a socio-economic order in a state of hopeless despair. Professor Nesan's multi-dimensional experience throughout his career in several capacities, including Vice Chancellor, Director, Senator, Advisor, Professor, Teacher, and a seasoned researcher in leading institutions of higher learning, has earned him excellent leadership skills and understanding on education. Probably because of this multifaceted personality, the government of Malaysia, at the instance of the Prime Minister, invited him to specially contribute to University Technology Malaysia's ambitious aim of becoming world's top 100 university by 2020. Simultaneously, he was leading the Center for Real Estate Studies and its executive director to spearhead the institution's commitment to advance the Malaysian construction industry with cutting-edge technologies, specifications, code of practices, and relevant educations. In this assignment, Professor Nesan was nominated by the PW Minister to advise the Construction Industry Development Board, Government of Malaysia, to formulate the roadmap for implementing asset and facility management initiatives established by Parliament. And Professor Nesan's vision and leadership to transform Opposite Center from its normal identity to its current position of world strategist known for real estate and construction studies demonstrates his visionary academic leadership. And Professor Nesan's policy and administrative initiatives at both Western Michigan University, USA, and University Putra, Malaysia, during his terms, that is a faculty member, have contributed immensely to the growth of the academic programs. At Western Michigan University, he involved in high-level academic assignments and administration as a senator, chaired subcommittees dealing with academic program assessment, curriculum development, library, research, teaching assessment, and research and fellowships, and steered the construction engineering and civil engineering programs towards obtaining ABT accreditation USA. As the head of construction division, Department of Civil Engineering at University Putra, Malaysia, he initiated ever first master program in construction engineering and management and presented research activities in the field of construction engineering. Previously, as the Vice Chancellor of Savitha University, Professor Nesan has completely reformed Savitha University in line with the notion as aphorised and along with the triple-headed policy. One is open-ended, less prescriptive, and the competitive education programs. 2, flexible education system and accountable education process. And the third one is comprehensive assessment pattern, which truly credits the contributions made by the respective stakeholders. As a result, inter alia, many folds of accrued benefits, the university has achieved the potential to cater education with highest level of excellence. And his book entitled Empowerment in Construction, The Way Forward for Performance Improvement was published internationally by Research Studies Press Limited, England. His another book entitled In Search of Education, published in the year 2019, has become a masterpiece of expounding the educational philosophy suitable for Indian conditions, and subsequently in its response to the national education policy, it suggests various policies, reforms, and methods. And the Professor Nesan also has won several research grants both in Malaysia and USA and completed the project successfully. His funded research areas included sustainable construction processes, building systems and productivity, cost control system, construction tax, knowledge management, design maintainability, and research experience for undergraduate. He also chaired, made keynote addresses, and presented research findings in several international conferences held in several countries, including England, Europe, USA, South Korea, South Africa, Yugoslavia, Bahrain, Singapore, Indonesia, and Malaysia. Success is not always about greatness, it is about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. Greatness will come automatically. And this juncture, I extend my hearty gratitude to the conveners and the organizing team for successfully making the 7 days online internet faculty development program to attain greatness. Thank you all. Thank you.
Emma? Emma?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please invite our guest.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Now I would like to request Professor Dr. L. Jawahar Nason, former Vice Chancellor, JSS Science and Technology University, Mysore, for a special address. Please welcome, sir.
Vanakkam. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Principal, sir, and beloved teachers, students, and friends, good afternoon. I would like to first beg sorry because I was not able to participate in the plenary session that you started, I think, a week ago. On the same date, I was invited to participate in a high-level committee by the government of Tamil Nadu. So the same day that meeting happened, so because of that, I was not able to participate in that. So I requested the organizers to pardon me and allow me to appear before you all this day. And fortunately, without any problem, it happened now. And I was worried that whether I would miss such a wonderful opportunity to be with you all today. And this has been a pride and honor for me to share my couple of my views and thoughts about teaching, learning, and education, and themed facets of teaching. This convention, I think this conference is truly inspiring because I saw the list of the people participating in this and delivering addresses all around the world. It has been really a very a conglomeration, a constellation of too many experts and eminent scholars all around the world from all parts of the world. I think that it is a great event that I lost the opportunity to participate for the past 1 week. And at least maybe
Professor, you are not audible, Professor. Professor, you are not audible. Professor.
Sir?
Professor, you are, Professor,
Sir,
there is some audio. Yes, ma, yes. Professor? Vincent, sir?
Yes, sir. I will go. I will call him by his phone. Let me check. He has left. I think he will rejoin again.
I'm sorry, it is 2 times it went off. I don't know, in the last 10 minutes. I request the organizers to check if there is any connectivity problems there. Okay, let me continue. So the society has been learning itself, even when the concept of education was not there. That means it is part and parcel of the social behavior. That's why I always used to say that education is a social function. Because if you look at that, when, before the modern times, the modern education, in the last 18th century, it began, the society was learning, and thousands of years, it was learning itself, and based on the experience it encounters, and the human experience and endeavors that it involves with, there are a lot of ways and means the society engages itself in learning new knowledge, inventing or discovering new knowledge, and absorbing, grasping the knowledge, synthesizing it, and then transmitting or transforming back to the society with new knowledge. So this is an inherent part of the social behavior. So, and the human being especially is gifted with about 100 billion neurons in our brain. And these neural connectivities and these neurons naturally have the mechanisms, the networks, the neural networks inside that enables us to think and to grasp. And it has biologically it's a cognitive process. But what's the difference between this cognitive, the natural materialistic brain, as opposed to the mind? The mind is something external, which is not part of the materialistic brain, which I mean is the 100 billion neurons inside. So that means we are gifted with the neurons to biologically activate the cognitive process. But the mind is something else. The mind sits outside this biological activity. And that mind is what is involved in the learning process. So that means it is tweaking that mind, part of our thought process, along with the biological cognitive process, and to try to assimilate together to make judgments on the rightness and wrongness. So it is the life and the knowledge is nothing but making judgments, making decisions between the rights and wrongs, and discern on what is knowledge is about. So I think that is the fundamental idea of education is about. The fundamental idea of education is the consciousness, especially the rationalistic, the rational consciousness. How to take the rational consciousness out of our thought process, from our mind, and making judgments on day-to-day life, and discerning on the rights and wrongs, and identifying the knowledge, synthesizing and reflecting the knowledge. So these are all the ideas that are around the education. And the teaching has been there also, because the learning came first. The learning came first. That's why I told you historically, the human perspective is, since from childhood, we start to learn.
Vincent sir, please ask to check the network connectivity of Professor Nathan sir. Vincent sir. Dr. Vincent, Uma madam, Dr. Uma Maheshwari ma'am.
Yes, sir. I'm here only, sir.
Please kindly ask the technical people to check with the Professor Jawahar Nason sir's connectivity, please.
Okay, sir.
It goes off very often. Please kindly check it out.
Okay, sir.
Sorry, it is going off. So without think, I used to think. I always think. So when I am thinking, then why do I need teaching then? So that means that sometimes the humankind needs some tweaking, some exposure, and some assistance in facilitating the mind to think. It is making the mind to think. That means teaching comes next, and learning is first. So teaching is a subset of learning then. So it is not there on the other way around. It is not like teaching first and learning second. Learning first, learning is last, learning is forever, and teaching is there just only to assist, to facilitate, to help the mind, the immature mind to think. Education, John Dewey says, it is a process of transforming the immature to the matured, from the state of immaturity to the state of maturity. That means that as a blind child, a child needs some facilitations, some assistance, and to train its mind to think. That is why a teaching process evolved, and that is why we needed teachers. And chronologically, if you look at the history, that we had teachers those days, and it was in an informal setting. It was an informal, a non-formal, a kind of an education process that we had. And the world had experienced different forms of teaching and learning. If you look at the Lyceum there, Aristotle and the Socrates, academy, the Plato's academy, all those are former primitive kinds of the learning centers where there are teachers, and basically where the teachers and learners were trying to share the ideas. If Socrates was surrounded by so many people around him, it was not just only Socrates was talking and people were listening. But it is not. It was a dialogical methods. It was a dialogical. They were making dialogues on issues, and they were discussing issues, and they were trying to identify, solutions, formulate solutions for the problems facing the society. That means it is the living issues, the living history, and that living experience is transformed into knowledge. And that was the fundamental process of the learning and teaching. It is not just a curriculum with a set of syllabus, and that tells us that you should read this and read that, and then through an examination, the knowledge is certified through a diploma. This is the most the mocking. It is making mockery of the education process. The modern education is very, very much backward, I would say, in the 21st century. We used to think that education has treaded for thousands of years to a very highly civilized and scientific manner in the way in which we look at education now, but it is not, is my contention. My contention is that the 21st century education that we face now is making mockery of the philosophy and the concept of education itself. That's why I quoted how Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, the descendants, that hierarchical followers were evolved. They were discussing, and they were dialogically, engaging each other. And the teacher is there. He was not called a teacher. He was a respect.
Uma ma'am.
No, he has,
Uma ma'am.
sir, Mani sir, he has network issues. I have clarified with the people of the technology.
Oh, okay.
Technical side, there is no issue. I think he has.
Sir, are you just keeping in touch with Professor Yavaga, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He has left
Vincent,
just
sir?
now. Yeah, he has left just now. Let me call. Let me make
Dr.
a.
Vincent?
Yes, sir. He has joined, sir. He has joined.
Can I continue, sir?
Yes, please, sir. Yes, please.
Yes, sir. It is the cultivation of the human experience. The curriculum is nothing but it's a framework, a mechanism that should be able to cultivate the social human endeavors and human experience. The human experience is nothing but the knowledge. The knowledge stems from the human experience. That most of the theories of the knowledge development, if you look at, right from Socrates through to John Dewey and all philosophers, and Immanuel Kant and Hegel and then John Dewey, throughout the history, if you look at that, it is the knowledge stems from the human experience. So without human experience, there is no knowledge. So that means the curriculum should be able to cultivate the human experience and the human endeavors into as a subject matters of instruction and learning. As subject matters of learning, it must be able to cultivate. And that subject matter should be discussed through the forms of various learning, teaching, and various educational activities. And only then this education will be able to make a relevance to the society. And this education is going to, yield something, a very good human capital for the prospects of the society. That has never happened in the history in the recent times since the invention of the nation state theories in the 18th century. Since then, the modern education started from Germany, Europe, and then North America, and then India. The modern education that we face now is the 18th century education model. There are a lot of flaws in it. And so we were learning and we were identifying, developing the knowledge and ideas in the society. My question here is whether are we doing justice to education through our schools and universities? My answer is not. We are not doing justice to the concept of education, because the education nowadays is a process of largely conform, CONFORM, conforming to the requirements of the nation or the country. And those days, during the imperial time, the kings were there. And then the feudalistic time afterwards, and then the capitalism, and then now the nation state. So the nation state now is trying to, engage the society and the citizens and make a citizenry out of the citizens in the way the nation state likes. And that is why I say that the education has to conform to the aspirations and requirements of the nation state. That is one. And then now, the education now also has to conform to the market forces. Nowadays, everything is a commodity. And education has been designated by the World Trade Organization as a commodity. Honestly, it is in the year 2003, it designated the education as a commodity. That means education is now a trade, it's a business. And the market forces are controlling the educational field predominantly. Whether there may be thousands and millions of students studying in government schools or universities and public institutions, but that doesn't matter. But what matters is what is the curriculum and who decides the curriculum, who decides the subject matters of instruction. That is the big question. These questions, if you answer, if you try, you will get the answer that it is the nation state, the authorities who governs the country, and the market forces. These are the two major forces. And along with this, there are always a specially cultivated community elsewhere all around the world. If it is in India, there is a special community. If it is United States or Malaysia or any Africa, there are always a specially cultivated community. And historically, they are cultivated with a special status. And these communities and the nation state and the market forces all collectively come together and decide what is the subject matters of instruction. And they don't allow you, and they don't give you the freedom. They don't give the freedom to the learners.
Sir,
Vincent, sir.
yes, sir.
சார்ட்ட கொஞ்சம் செக் பண்ணுங்க என்ன சிச்சுவேஷன் இருக்குன்னு.
I think he has network issues, not we here.
சார் ஜவஹர் நேசன் சார் வீடியோவை மியூட் பண்ணிக்கிற சொல்லுங்க.
ஓகே ஓகே
ஜவஹர் நேசன் சார்
இன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணுங்க வின்சென்ட் சார்.
பெட்டரா இருக்கும்.
Again, he rejoined.
It's frequently is cutting.
Professor, we think that there is a network issue on your side because we have checked with the technical people. There is no issue on our side.
Okay. I don't have any. Anyway.
Switch off your video. Then if you speak, I think that will go.
Maybe. Okay.
Please find out. If you can, it's better you switch off your video than if you proceed with only audio.
That's great. Okay, I have done it now. Okay. See, the issue is that the educational process has been already, distorted from its trajectory of the learning, which is the fundamental idea of education. And learning has been distorted by the use of the modern teaching process. And especially you could see now that how the teaching is getting transformed during these COVID times, the Corona times as well. And the Corona, because of the Corona that we are going through some kind of an online process. Now this online is going to, educate the students and facilitate the learning process. When I said that initially, the best form of learning is interactive, dialogical, and problem-posing methods of learning, because that is going to liberate the minds of the learners from the crutches. from the clutches of the oppressions that they are facing. So in that way, that a lot of transformations are in a turbulent conditions taking place, and the world already had gone into a kind of an educational practice that is against the philosophy of education, which should be stopped at once, and education should be liberated back to the basic, so that it will be able to, serve the purpose for which it has been created by the humankind. And I would like to just emphasize one more point, that the primary idea of education and learning process is the rational consciousness, is stimulating and trying to cultivate the rational consciousness of the human beings. And that rational consciousness is nothing but a scientific inquiry in the learning process, which should not be left as a chance in the learning process, but that should be the primary focus in the learning process. The teaching should ensure that it doesn't distort or deviate from this process. So this is very important. So why primarily we have education these days, or learning process, is not to serve in few corporate companies after my graduations, or is not just only for the livelihoods, or neither it is to serve the country. These are all, of course, the basic ideas of the normal duties of a citizen or a human being. But the very important issue is that the consciousness, whether the consciousness is enhanced or fostered in the learning process. Because the consciousness is nothing but it enables the learner to make judgments and decisions in taking decisions on the rights and wrongs, and identify the truth. And the truth is nothing but the knowledge. You see, that knowledge, that inquisition is மெய்ப்பொருள் காண்பது அறிவு. The knowledge is nothing but finding the truth. In Tirukural it was said, மெய்ப்பொருள் காண்பது அறிவு. That means மெய்ப்பொருள் is the truth, and you have to seek always the truth in your learning process. That truth is the knowledge. So if human beings are trained in an educational establishments in all forms of learning process and other educational activities, and every individual is going to be groomed as to how to think and how to attain consciousness continually, lifelong in their life, and eventually that will increase the educative capacity of the society. The purpose of education is nothing but to increase the educative capacity of the society, because learning has a social character. Learning has a social character, and it is a social function. The social, since it is by nature has a social character, learning cannot be dissociated from the society. So learning takes place. You can study engineering, medicine, or chemistry, physiology, whatever, philosophies and sociology. But all are what? Is it just narrowed down to an extent to groom a person to work for somebody? That is, of course, it's an unintended consequences. Of course, a student, a graduate after graduation is going to engage in life in a meaningful way. It could be a doctor, he could be an engineer, or whoever, lawyer, or anybody. So that is not the purpose. The primary purpose of education is to enable them to attain continually, lifelong, the state of consciousness, number one. And number two, through that, to increase the educative capacity of the society. Because of the social character of the learning. Because learning of the individual takes place within the society, with social and societal experience. So that means since learning has a social character, and the education has to work for improving the educative capacity of the society, because the educative capacity of the society was facing down for the past several centuries. Now the society is facing inhuman consequences. Like you can see, criminalization is increasing, unethical practices are increasing, and unscientific, unenduring knowledge are considered as knowledge, and they are not truth. So these are all the consequences because of the failure of the education. The education should primarily try to improve the educative capacity of the society, but not to groom the students for some particular works in the corporate companies, or for somebody, or even for that matter, for making a good citizenship. Because a good citizen will come once the education has done its piece of work properly, and it will groom the students to be a good citizen or a good human being. So it is creating a good human being. This nation state or the country should not come and tell that you have to create, it is not their responsibility to create a good citizenry. So that means that it is very, very important that the educative capacity of the society is the focus of the, should be the focus of education, so that the rational, conscious state of thought process will be there always in every human being. And all these human beings, once are collectively living as a society, the collective reasoning and collective consciousness will find the truth for the society and for the social evolution. And the social evolution, if the social evolution has to take a proper, right form of trajectory in its growth, education has to deviate from its current form of format and try to focus back on the true philosophy of education and the true learning process and the true teaching process. In that way, a teacher and teaching is always a subset of a learning process. Understanding this, a teacher has to be a facilitator, a teacher has to be a debater, a teacher has to facilitate debates, dialogues, interactions, and making the students to think and reflect with their new knowledge. So eventually the examinations and the learning assessment that you do also should reflect only this truth. It should not be a rote kind of examination on the learning assessment. So the examinations or the learning assessment that we do to assess the student should also try to judge or identify the students' synthesis of knowledge and their reflections with the new knowledge. So that means knowledge is always open-ended. There is no right, perfect answer for every question. Even the scientific questions that we face in this world are since the humankind. So that means that understanding this idea, the idea of education, the education has to be liberated from the current forms of the clutches of the nation state, from the market forces, and some specially cultivated groups that govern or influence the social evolution in the country. And that liberation is very much important. And a country can fail its citizens, and a society can also fail on its own, and with all disastrous behaviors and barbaric attitudes and so on. And the laws can also fail to control or control the crimes and other things. But there is only one thing left. If all failed us, only the last thing that remains in the history, that remained in the history, that will always be there with us is education. If education is made to do its intended job, then regardless of the failure of the nations, failure of the world, failure of humankind, education will enable us and capacitate us to resolve our problems and resolve the questions that we face and challenges we are going to face in the 21st century and beyond, and we will emerge as a good, prospectful society. So I request all teachers, all in your hands only. I don't see much teachers in the world. In the way I wish to see, I don't see many teachers. I see just only coaches. You're all coaching. We are all coaching. Coaching is not teaching. So I want teachers. The teacher is only a debater, a dialogical facilitator, and he enables the students in a dialectical manner to identify the truth. And that kind of a teaching community is very, very much needed in this country for us to, come out with a good, prospectful, equitable, and justifiable, a just society amidst a turbulent world that we live in. So, considering this, I request my teaching fraternity and students, fellows, friends, and the decision makers in the education sector and colleges and institutions, please identify this and consider my request and try to incorporate the best practices so that we produce a good, beautiful, and a pleasant humankind in the future. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And there will be a lot of opportunities I may have to, I'm sorry, because I was not able to join first, and then now I'm joining, and also 3 times I was, interrupted by the technology. And I think that let us have beautiful long sessions and frequent sessions in future. And not only in your institutions, but all institutions you must lead and coordinate so that we create a wonderful educational institutions in these beautiful countries. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Certainly, Professor, we will definitely keep in mind all your beautiful ideas, and we will definitely try to do our best by taking all your advice and assistance also. Thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your priceless words. And I must say, I'm really able to relate to your speech. Thank you so much.
Introduction.
Thank you.
குறைச்சு முடிச்சுக்கலாம். சீக்கிரம் முடிச்சிடலாம்.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Hema, you welcome.
Now I'll have to call. Yes, sir. Sir?
Please go ahead, Ma. Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Please, Ma, Hema, go ahead.
Now I would like to call on Dr. F. Vincent. Yes, sir. Rajshekhar, one of the organizing secretary, Lakshmi College of Education, for introducing the guest. Please, sir.
Thank you, Hema. Good afternoon, all the dignitaries. As our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Subbaiah, requested that a brief introduction is needed, because if I go through his profile, at least it will take 2 hours. Such a wonderful things he has done. Professor Dr. Subbaiah, former Vice Chancellor of Alagappa University, has guided more than 25 PhD scholars and more than 55 MPhil scholars. As our Honorable Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University Vice Chancellor Panjanadam sir said, he was working as a master brain and stayed in the university to attain A+ grade in the 3rd cycle of NAC accreditation and other recognition to university, such as category number 1 status, special autonomy status for MHRD, UGC attainment of 27th position under the category universities in the year of 2018, taking the university to a global attention. If I go through what are the achievements he has attained and the awards he received, it will take at least 25 minutes because it runs to the 20 pages. So I skip in all those things. Let me come to that last point, that he has initiated 3rd position, Swachha ranking 2017 MHRD, World Clean and everything. He is the member of, he is a member in all the association. He is in the steering committee. Search Committee, VC Church Committee, and he is acting as a member of all stand committees. Ladies and gentlemen, with a brief introduction, it's my great pleasure to welcome Professor Dr. Subbaiah to address. Thank you.
Very good afternoon to all the dignitaries, teachers, and participants. I have great pleasure in delivering valedictory address in the faculty development program jointly organized by Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University, Center for National International Academic Collaboration of Lakshmi College of Education, and the Tamil American TV. Revered Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University, Dr. Panchanadam, Dr. Pankaja Madam, the former Vice Chancellor of Gandhigram University, Registrar, Controller, and other officers of Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University, Principal of Lakshmi College of Education, Professor Mani, the convener of the international 1 week online international faculty development program on facets of teaching, organizing secretaries, and former vice chancellors, resource persons from various parts of the world, and the participants. I'm extremely happy. First, I have to thank the Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University for organizing so many seminars, conferences, and I heard that they have organized more than 2,000 programs. And then the teacher education university should be the model, because they have to guide all university teachers and school teachers, college teachers, and they have realized the importance and the responsibility, and they have been organizing so many programs, not only for the teachers, they are organizing program for the students, teachers, and administrators, and for every sector. And as Professor Panchanadam is from Annamalai University, he has come from Annamalai University, the most renowned university in India. And that university has produced so many scholars and vice chancellors like Dr. Panchanadam. And quality education is always connected with quality teachers. Quality teachers can provide quality education. That is why Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University, the Lakshmi College of Education, and the Tamil America TV, they are jointly organizing this program. Faculty development program. And when I was the teacher, we found it very difficult to attend orientation program and academic staff colleges program because in few universities only the government of India has established academic staff colleges. So only few programs, they used to conduct only few programs. So now the Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University and Lakshmi College of Education, they have provided very good opportunity for the teachers. They have got the opportunity for attending faculty development program. And the organizers of the program, they are really fortunate. When I was the organizing secretary for organizing international conference in Ulagappa University, and we had to spend at least 3 months to organize a conference. The organizers of the conference, and they are really fortunate. They have organized the 1 week online, 1 week program. Organizing 1 day program is a great task, very difficult task. And we had to go to airport to receive the guests. We had to book air tickets for the resource persons from various parts of the world. And we have to book hotels. We found it very difficult to organize international conference. The delegate also, they had to come from various parts of the country, various parts of the world. Now everybody is sitting in their place, in their places, and they are comfortably attend the faculty development program. And the student teachers and the teacher educators and the teachers of many places, they have got great opportunity of listening to the lectures from Texas, USA, University of Mysore, and from Kenya, Bahrain, Malaysia, and various parts. You are sitting in your place and you have got the opportunity of listening to lectures delivered from various parts of the world. It's really great. You have to thank the coronavirus, and it has helped us implementing the technology and online the teaching and learning process. The Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University and Gandhigram Lakshmi College of Education, and they have really provided a very great opportunity, and they have implemented how to learn through online, how to teach through online. Professor Javahar, he was giving wonderful lecture. And really he taught us what is education and whether our methods of teaching is how we are teaching. He has beautifully narrated. And before that, I want to thank Teacher Education University and Lakshmi College of Education, the renowned college, and they have from that college 2 vice chancellors. That college has produced 2 vice chancellors, Professor Pangaja Madam and Professor Kogila Tangasamy, and the 2 vice chancellors were from that college. And they are going to produce many vice chancellors because they are organizing some program with the Teacher Education University. And the Teacher Education University is organizing so many programs, and they are satisfying the criteria of vice chancellors. If you want to apply for Vice Chancellor, you have to satisfy 5 criteria. And one criteria is you have to organize international conference or faculty development program or seminar or symposium. Now one criteria is over. Now all the staff members of Teacher Education University and the Lakshmi College of Education have attended this program. One criteria is over. And they have presented papers in many conferences, and the second criteria is over. And already they have got experience, the third criteria is over. And they have published papers in many conferences, and they have got the opportunity of publishing papers in journals. Fourth criteria is over. Every criteria is over. You are producing so many Vice Chancellors. And I used to emphasize the institution, the responsibility of teachers and the institutions is you have to give opportunities. You have to provide opportunities to have experiences. Having experiences, nothing but education. If you are a teacher, you have to provide so many opportunities to the students to have experiences. Like Professor Jawahar said, rightly pointed out, and we are teaching everything to the students. We teach each and everything. We don't give them opportunity to think. Unless you give them opportunity to think, and they will not have real knowledge. So as teachers, we have to provide enough opportunities to think. And we have to give enough opportunities to have experiences. That is very, very important. And we should not tell each and everything to them. We should conversate with them. And we have to introduce the dialogue method also. And we have to give them opportunity to tell something their own. We should not ask questions. We should ask the students, what you have learned, you tell. What you want to say, you tell. You say something. So we should provide opportunity to learn. Definitely they will learn many things. And another thing is that every teacher should know what are the objectives of education. That is very, very important. And now the percentage of literacy has increased. But the crime rate has not reduced. What does it mean? They have just they have appeared for the examination and they have cleared the examination. That's all. They are good at in their subjects. And whether they have realized the objectives of education, and I will tell you what are the objectives of education. As teachers, you should know. The first objective is you should make the children or the students physically strong, then mentally strong, emotionally stable, and socially adjustable and useful. And you take one by one. They should be physically strong. And we should make them strong. Now, another thing I want to emphasize, as Professor Jawahar pointed out, learning occurs not only in school. Now you take in pandemic situation, they spend their time only in there. They are with their parents. And they learn many things from them. So the students learn many things from their family, society, and school, college, or the institutions. So the teachers, they should realize the responsibility of the teacher. The teacher should realize the responsibility. We should help them to be the good citizens of India. They should be physically strong, mentally strong, and emotionally stable. That is very important. The percentage of literacy has increased. The crime rate has not reduced. So what about their emotional stability? Whether you give them opportunity, whether you allow them to play in the school or college, whether you give importance to that activities, that extracurricular activities, and if you give them opportunity to play in the ground, one day they will win the match, and the other day they will lose the match. When they win the match, they will realize what is success. When they lose the match, lose the game, they will have the experience of their failure. So they should have the experience of both success and defeat. Then only when they face the same situation in their life, they will not worry about that. So unless you give them opportunity to have these experiences, how can you expect them emotionally stable? They will not be emotionally stable. And they should be socially adjustable. And they should mingle with their friends, students. And they have to participate in many programs with their friends. When they play a game, and they will mingle with them, they will adjust. If they are attending a program, in a village, if they are staying there for a day, and they will know how to adjust with others. If they are staying in the hostels, they will come to know how to adjust with others. So socially, they have to adjust with others, and socially, they have to help others also. That these are all the part of education. And merely getting degree is not education. So the teachers have to realize these things. And these are all the aspects of, you should have all these aspects in your teaching. And if you take teaching, and I have learned one thing from my school teacher, and she used to send a link. I received a message from her. She has sent me a link. And she sent me a few visuals about Pragadiswara temple and Rajaraja. Actually, she is going to teach Rajaraja Sola. And in which she has sent beautiful pictures of the temple and other things related to the kingdom of Rajarajan. And after sending these visuals, she has put a message stating that if you want to know about Rajaraja Chola, you join with me at 11 o'clock. So this is a kind of motivation. Actually, when You are all teachers, you know very well. After entering into the classroom only, you will begin to motivate. Now, she has started her motivation when she sends a link to the student. Now they are all very eager to attend her class. Now she has reduced the absentees. Like a science teacher, she is also doing like this. If you want to know the magic of your heart, join with me at 10 o'clock. The topic is circulatory system. And she has sent me so many pictures like videos like pumping of heart. So automatically the students are motivated and they want to attend her class. So you have to thank, as already pointed out, the pandemic, in the pandemic situation, though the coronavirus has affected many things, but in one aspect we have to thank. All the students, they are sitting in their place, they are attending class. They are sitting in their place, they are writing examination. They are sitting in their place, they need not go to the office, they need not go to the library. They need not meet the controller of examination. They need not meet the principal. No, nothing. By sitting their places, and they are attending classes, they are attending examination, they are paying their fees, they are getting their hall tickets. So you have to use technology. Unless you use technology in your teaching will not be effective. And another thing is that, and the main concentration should be on students. You have to concentrate on your students. Now the teaching job has become more challenging one because of the technology only. Unless you search more information than the students, and you will not be respected by your students. And you should be very careful also in teaching. If you are not teaching well, if you are not giving correct information, and they will go to the Google and they will check whether you are correct or not. So we should be very careful. In those days, the teachers were the only source of information. Now teachers are one of the sources of information. So we should be very careful also. We should realize our responsibility. That is very, very important. And online learning. Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University and the Lakshmi College of Education, they are the forerunners of introducing online teaching and learning. And in this opportunity, I thank the organizers. I thank the Vice Chancellor and the Principal of the college and the convener, Professor Mani, and the organizing secretaries and the participants. And the participants have to thank the Teacher Education University and Tamil American TV and the Lakshmi College of Education for organizing this great program, faculty development program. Whenever these programs are organized, the teachers, the teacher educators have to attend these type of programs. Then only you can improve your knowledge, and your professional development is the national asset, not individual growth, not only individual growth. It is a national asset. It's a global asset. It directly affects the national economy, nation's economy, and the global economy also. That is why, and all the countries are concentrating on higher education. Fortunately, we are in top. Our higher education system is largest one of the largest. We are next to America and China. We are in the third position. And a research has been done on self-learning, and in which India has occupied the first position with the 55%, China with the 52%. So we are trying to occupy the prime position in the education sector. And we had very great universities, renowned universities like Nalanda universities and Dakshashila. Yuan Swang, he was here for 17 years. And we were in the top. Now we have occupied the highest position in higher education. So it is the duty of the teachers and the teacher educators to provide quality education to the students. That is very important. If you provide quality education, everything will happen positively. So it is our responsibility, realizing the responsibility. And these three organizations have organized this program. I thank the organizers of this 1 week program. Thank you very much of the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for your brilliant words. Life has tried to break me. The wounds are not yet healed, but I'm not a victim, never been, and never will. I'm everything the darkness could not kill. On this powerful poetic line, I would like to request our respected professor and head of Department of Educational Planning and Administration and Director of Center for National and International Academic Collaboration of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, Dr. S. Mani, for the vote of thanks. Please welcome, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. A great noon to the galaxy of learned people. At the outset, let me thank God Almighty for giving me this wonderful opportunity of proposing a vote of thanks on the eve of the validatory function of the 1 week online international faculty development program on facets of teaching conducted by Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, Lakshmi College of Education in association with Tamil America TV from 14th June 2021 to till today. First of all, on behalf of the organizing committee, I express my sincere gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor N. Panjanadam, who has been a great source of constant support all through these 7 days, especially for sparing his valuable time to deliver the presidential address on this occasion, and especially his humorous way of motivating not only the teachers but also the great audience. Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Secondly, we would like to express our sincere, heartfelt thanks to the special guest, Professor Dr. L. Jawahar Nason, the former Honorable Vice Chancellor of JSS Science and Technology University, Mysuru, for being with us and delivering the special address. In spite of his busy schedule, being a honorable member of the Honorable Justice A.K. Rajan Committee constituted by the Government of Tamil Nadu to study the impact of NEET-based medical admission on students from government-run schools. In fact, sir was supposed to deliver his plenary lecture on the first day of our program on 14th June 2021, but it was not able for him to make it up since he was supposed to attend a physical, very unfortunate thing. But fortunately today we had him with us to deliver his special address covering so many thoughtful ideas with regard to the concept of education. And ultimately, he has pointed out that education should make the human being to think and act. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your valuable presence and helping us to know the meaning of Meipurul Kanbadu Arivu. Next, I would like to express our sincere thanks on behalf of the organizing committee. Our profound thanks to the chief guest of today, Professor Dr. S. Subbaiah sir, the former Honorable Vice Chancellor of Alagappa University, Karaikudi, who has been a shining star in Alagappa University, say about 3 years ago. And as our Honorable Vice Chancellor has rightly pointed out, during his tenure, the Alagappa University has reached its height to a greater extent, making the entire university as #1 university in the country by securing 100 crores of rupees for the university. And it is something very, very, very appreciable one, and a very large presence and sharing your innovative ideas on the facets of teaching. And moreover, you have made us to understand the role of a teacher in imparting the quality education for the future generation. Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable presence. We are very grateful to you, sir. Thank you, sir. The organizing committee expresses its gratitude to Professor Ajit Rana Singh ji, Professor and Head Department of Education, Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar, Open University, Gujarat, who has been a source of motivation and making a model to us and setting a model to us, attending this 7 days FDP program continuously right from day one and motivating us and helping us to make this program a grand successful one by giving his feedback to the great learned audience. The organizing committee also sincerely acknowledges the encouragement given by Professor Dr. Pankajam Amma, former Honorable Vice Chancellor of Gandhigram Rural University, currently the chairperson of the Lakshmi College of Education, and Sri Shivkumar Anna, the Secretary of Lakshmi College of Education. Thank you, Ma, and thank you, sir, for giving us a great support for making this program a successful one. Thank you very much. We also extended by our most respected Registrar, sir, Controller of Examination, Dr. Ganesan, and other teaching and non-teaching staff of our university for making this program possible. Thank you for all your support and encouragement. Thank you, sir. The organizing committee greatly acknowledges Sri Augustine Giltes, the founder president of Tamil America TV, New York, USA, for his spontaneous support and making this program to reach the people of entire world. And we are also very thankful for deputing his coordinator, Sri Udayanasan, a great scholar, to bless us and felicitate the function. Thank you, sir, for your great support. We also express our sincere thanks to Ms. Atik Binti Jafar, the PhD scholar of University Technology, Mara, Malaysia, for her valuable feedback with respect to the 7 days FTP program. Thank you, ma'am. Our special thanks goes to the most valuable resource person who had ideas in the past 7 days in spite of their personal difficulties and technical glitches. Thank you all resource persons on behalf of the Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University and Lakshmi College of Education. We record our sincere thanks to all the resource persons who have been dedicatedly participating by contributing lot of information to the future teachers as well as to the teachers who are in service. Thank you very much. On behalf of the organizing committee, on my own behalf, we express our sincere thanks to the principal, the teaching staff and non-teaching staff of Lakshmi College of Education for their dedicated service to make this event a successful one. I also thank on my own behalf as well as on behalf of the organizing committee to the teaching, non-teaching staff and students of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University for their complete support to make this program a successful one. I also thank Professor Ganesan for his valuable participation and felicitating our program. Thank you, sir. On behalf of the organizing committee, on my own behalf, we express our sincere thanks to the teaching and non-teaching staff and all other people who have either directly or indirectly supported to make this program. Thank you very much. Committee members of this faculty development program, there are many people who have been either directly or indirectly helping us and making this program a possible one. Thank you very much, sir and madam. Lastly, but not least, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to the most valuable participants who have been a great source of inspiration to continue this 7-day FDP program right from 14th June to till date. Thank you very much, all the great souls who have joined with us across the globe to make this 7 days program a very successful one. Thank you all participants. We also express our sincere thanks to all the students of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, Lakshmi College of Education, and alumnus of Lakshmi College of Education for extending their complete support by extending their participation to compare the program, to introduce the guests, to propose vote of thanks, and so on forth. Thank you, dear students. Thank you very much. My special gratitude to the organizing committee, conveners, secretaries, joint secretaries, and other committee members for making this program a very successful one. Thank you, one and all. Finally, we would like to record our sincere thanks to all the good hearts, those who have either done a grand successful one. Thank you, one and all, for giving this wonderful opportunity. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful words. Now,
Yes.
I would like to recite my favorite poem. Woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have a promise to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. On this note of this beautiful poem and a promise for a better tomorrow, I would like to call off this valediction function with a promise of a wonderful tomorrow. Thank you each and everyone for your presence and participation in this memorable event. Now I request everyone, please stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलति तरंगा दव शुभ नामे जाहे दव शुभ आशीष मागे गाये तव जय गादा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे